prime time on the top game, it's a fine line. Man in the match, that's Daveye, he's the main guy, keep a close eye. Make sure you don't make no wrong play, cause I'm with Jose and Andre. And when Cyrus comes to walk in, you better know that you are watching Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on, prime time. Let me hear you say Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on, prime time.
Premier League Prime Time.
Hello and welcome to Premier League Prime Time. It's been, some of you may have even kind of forgot that yes, we existed. No, we're all here. I'm still alive somehow. With the course of how awful the season's been, and in my personal life, it's not been great. But we're here. Man United and Chelsea. On right now. To introduce the panel that I'm joined by. Firstly, on the Chelsea side of things, Ousmane, my bro, how are we doing?
I'm hate watching right now.
Hate watching who?
Well,
and of course, a member of the panel today, my guy, Drew. Red Forum, what are we saying?
Well, since Amarin started his strongest lineup, which was not really the ideal wishes for the fan base.
Yeah,
I'm going to say they're definitely, this is a practice match for them. Rehearsal for Wednesday evening.
Yeah,
United look organized.
I'm all confident, man. But mine's in what 2 minutes 40. But the starting 11s. Just for those who are just getting here now, and again, I apologize for the delays as well. We are a bit late, and do want to apologize for that. But to just give you the starting 11s, if you haven't seen or don't know, looking at Chelsea. You got Robert Sanchez, Reece James, Tosin Adarbayo, Levi Colwill, Marco Correa. At the back, you have Enzo Fernandes and Moises Caicedo. In the midfield, you have Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, and Tarek George in the attack. And on the Man United side of things, you have Andre Onana, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof. In defense, you have Patrick Dorgu and Nosir Mazraoui at wing backs. You have a pivot of Bruno and Casemiro, and a front three of Mason Mount, Amagello, and Rasmus Højlund. Score predictions, real quick, right?
1-1.
For our strongest lineup, it's probably going to be a 2-2 draw now instead of a 4-1 demolition for Chelsea.
Okay. Ousmane, what about you?
Fucking Madueke, bro. Excuse my friend.
Yeah, you skied one, bro.
I don't know where you guys are at, but my shit is not working at the moment. So my stream currently is fairly behind in it a little bit, but yeah, Madueke missed a sitter. What did I tell you about Madueke, man? I told you guys about that guy, bro.
Don't worry, we got Evil Saka.
Bro, he should have just scored that Evil Saka, bro. He was wide open.
Maybe a lot.
Evil Saka's kind of
We're not calling this guy Tyreek George, bro. We're calling this guy Evil Saka.
No. We're trying to, be, we're not trying to, piss off too many people here, man. I'm just trying to move it. I'm just trying to be Evil Saka.
They got a bunch of kids.
Bro, you either call him Evil Saka or Megamind Saka, bro.
Oh my days, man. Not you guys are too much.
United playing out from the back. Wow.
It's actually crazy, man. But honestly, I mean, for me, looking at this game, this for me tells that the manager is taking this match seriously.
Going to play on Wednesday. But they boo him out.
Honestly, he probably will. I'd say maybe the only change he might bring Ugarte into the team, because that's what he's been playing in the Europa League, or not even just the Europa League, just some more important games. People say, oh, it's a back three with wing backs. It's when it's really a back seven, and two wing backs, or no, not even two wing backs, because the wing backs are defenders, and then you have two defensive midfielders in front. So, Dorgu, that's it. Oh, never mind. Dorgu's kind of dropped off a bit. It's kind of mad. I mean, I still believe in the player. However, long term, will he be good enough to be Man United starting wing back? I don't know. Only time will tell. I do rate him, but on the subject of Dorgu, Ousmane, I'm gonna just first throw the question to you, just from a neutral perspective. What have you thought of Patrick Dorgu since he's arrived at Man United?
That's one thing for sure. He's physical, he's fast, he's raw.
But on Dorgu, though.
Forward.
On Dorgu, though. What are your honest thoughts on Dorgu, man?
Patrick Dorgu, the Danish Evra.
Okay. All right. Okay, so lads, anyone and everyone who sees this or is watching, please, I know, some Man United fans move a bit mad, but, let's just make sure that, let's not do guilty by association. Let's not do guilty by association, man. So I'm going to say that now.
Colwell is not fast, bro.
Gordon, I told all you about that guy Colwell as well, man.
Wait,
the top Chelsea are saying he's
Lindelof, bro.
The featured
bro. By Lindelof with speed, bro. By an old man, bro.
Bro,
United are
levels to this game.
Goes down. Bruno.
Bruno never really gets injured anyway.
Oh my gosh! Now he's on. Now
he never really. Bruno never really gets injured anyway, so I'm not
if Bruno
too
gets
concerned.
Game, we're losing, bro.
I'm
4 times.
Enzo Fernandez, the guy who left his wife and started balling ever since.
Hey, yo.
So that leaves the question: should we just start divorcing our women or what?
Hey, yo. It's a bit mad,
bro.
No, it's okay. There's a second chance.
Wait, go on, Ahmad.
Ahmad, bro. Ahmad.
I think you might be a bit ahead of me. Oh wait. No, dude. Oh no, lads. You just realized.
Lock Ahmad up, bro. Are we living in an alternate universe?
Oh no, lads. You just realized now. I think like all of our streams, regardless of where we're at, they're all going to be at different time points, so the reactions are going to be so delayed. Say someone scores a goal or whatnot. Oh my days! I just realized that now. Oh no, this is gonna be so active.
I think Ousmane is 5 seconds ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually a minute. I'm actually a minute. I'm at 9:34.
I'm at 9:34.
So
am I. Okay. So as about
on my thing here, because you know how you get notifications before before you actually get the score line.
Turn one football off, man. We don't want to split.
No, it's not
one football applications off, bro. Those applications, those apps are
Apple Sports.
50
it just automatically shows up.
Oh, it's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Just looking at this game, and I know it's already started, but it's fairly early. On Man United side of things, what do you expect? What do you expect from us?
As useless as he is, bro. What is he doing?
First off, they're not really going to hold back because it's Chelsea.
Yo, can you move?
Okay. Wait, Ousmane, hold up. Wait, yo.
What?
Well, y'all, Ousmane, question for you. looking at Chelsea just in this game, right? How do you think Chelsea, or do you think the best way for Chelsea to go about breaking down this Man United side? Just looking purely at, a player personnel point of view or from a tactical point of view. Just from your opinion. To throw the question out to you.
What was the question? I'm just gonna. Nah. I mean, bro, you eating a watermelon? It's crazy.
Okay.
Nah.
Anyways.
I was saying no. I feel like I don't know because I guess it's not slow anymore because Maresca, he's a Pep disciple. He's hold that thought. Okay, yeah. Reece James has lost possession.
Oh my God!
But jokes aside, I feel like Maresca, he kind of to some extent he kind of realized the strengths of the Chelsea team compared to mid-season, because in the beginning of the season it was all quick transitions, and then towards mid-season it was like force that possession-based philosophy, inverting fullbacks. But just how I see League in the past few games against the Liverpool game, I think he starts to see that like we do good in like quick transitions. So yeah.
Do you think Chelsea will get Champions League? But let's just assume, right? Because these two games are, or at least this game to start with is a must-win. Right?
No, because
do you think you'll still get Champions League?
I said it since Liverpool, right? No, I'm sorry. I said it since Everton, because Everton Liverpool is one of those games because Everton, they're in a solid position. They're not getting relegated. Liverpool, they're already champions, so they got nothing to play for, right? Because like I said, we said it the other day. If Liverpool lose all their games, they still lead by a big margin. So they don't really need to play for anything. They're in Ibiza right now, chilling. So yeah, and then I look at Newcastle. I'm like, yeah, we're not winning that because Newcastle they're trying to hold on to top three, top four. If it wasn't for UEFA, Chelsea would not be in the Champions League race. Top 5. If it wasn't for UEFA. If you think about it. Because
it's a good point.
Traditional top 2. No, top 4. It's a traditional top 4. But then UEFA wanted to be nice or whatever. Those bottle jobs, the Netflix FC, they made it to the semis. So obviously they spot, even though they effed that one up. So yeah. And then what else? What else was I gonna say? Yeah. So I said Newcastle's gonna beat us. United's gonna get a draw, or maybe a loss. You never know. Somebody lost possession, and then the last day at Nottingham, the top 5, the race for top 5 is so tight. Worst case scenario, we might finish 7th. We might finish 7th because Villa are what? Villa are like what? 5th right now. We're 6th as things stand. We're 5th.
Okay. Wait. I forgot. Yeah, Villa played Tottenham at the same time.
Yeah. So Villa is 5th.
Did they score? I'd assume they'd score because they're level on points before the match. I would assume. That's why they're. Wait. Oh no, never mind. Oh no, it's half time and it's 0-0. Okay.
It started earlier.
Oh yeah, they started around half an hour earlier.
What's Tottenham's lineup looking like? Are they playing their strongest one as well?
Wait. Oh wait, no, Ousmane. I'm looking at the table now. Chelsea's still currently in 5th. As things stand right now.
They're still
because it's 0-0 on their side of things. I mean, if Villa were to win or were to go up by a goal, then the live, obviously they would, switch. As just since it's during the matches.
Add on to that, right? Maresca's biggest weakness is like, okay, people might look at this season, they might be like, okay,
oh wait, oh my God,
Harry Maguire scored.
Wait, what?
Man United in front. Wait,
who crossed it in? Bruno?
Yes.
Harry Maguire with the goal right now. Man United up by 0-0. Harry Maguire.
Bro,
scored some big goals this season, man.
Fan base is right now,
I didn't say nothing, right? Did I say something? I didn't say nothing. Let's just watch.
I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice.
Sorry, but if somehow United scam a win this game, I'm not celebrating this, bro. This is
it's off. Oh, wait, he looks offside.
Wait. Let me see. Wait. A good point. Yeah. Wait. Let me see.
I'm not.
Oh. Wait. Hold on a minute.
Wait.
Hold on a minute.
Because
Wait.
somebody's
He's
offside.
off, actually. Yep, his arm is off.
Wait. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fair point.
His arm is for sure off, bro.
Bruno, what a pass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good
Look,
point.
Tosin is sleeping. Who's sleeping?
Nah, bro. If this counts,
you might be right. You might be right. And it very well might get called off,
bro.
One thing I will say, since Maguire's on the subject,
What the freak? Maguire's wearing a freaking wrist tape, bro. Everyone at United's now wearing wrist tape randomly on their wrists, like they're following after Højlund.
Wait, so what they saying?
Well, while VAR,
Offside.
checks and judges, yeah. I mean, is it offside officially?
Yeah, it's offside.
Oh, okay. But I mean, while Maguire's on on the subject, it's confirmed. Goal offside. Still 0-0. But on the subject of Harry Maguire, though, Drew, question you. I mean, I think everyone in this in our family, so regardless of where you stand, will for a long time be traumatized by 21-22 season Harry Maguire. I think, I don't know, for a long while. But I mean, you'd have to say since then, has it been great? No. However, I mean, in particular this season, I mean, when called upon, and even since he's been stripped of the armband as well, I mean, when called upon, he's gone and done his best to do a professional job and all that. And yeah, since then he's had bad games, but I mean, and I know especially the top Reds, love a revival story. But what are your thoughts on just Harry Maguire in general? I mean, I do have to say, props to him, man. Kudos to Maguire for, kind of, somewhat reviving his Man United career at least a little bit. Goals against Lyon, almost a goal here. Scored some important goals, man. It's had some big performances.
These top
thoughts on all that.
These top Reds are saying that Casemiro is the redemption
Robert
this season or the last couple seasons, but they've got it wrong. They randomly brought that. They've randomly brought that narrative up, which is coming from that. But the real redemption story, the real redemption arc that we've been seeing from last season all the way to this season currently has just solely been Harry Maguire. We can at least agree on that, right?
Yeah, somewhat. One thing I will say, Ed, you can't say these top Reds for. I can't lie. You can't say these top Reds like you're not part of them.
But guys, I have a question.
How am I? No, bro.
No,
I'm
fine.
not a top Red. I personally consider myself not a top Red, bro. I'm literally just an American fan who loves Manchester United, bro.
Being American has nothing to do with being a top Red. That has nothing to do with it. And one thing I will say, Drew, shout out to your Instagram and TikTok as well. It's growing. It's been growing in numbers and views and all that. So I mean, hey, whatever your motives are, I mean, kudos to you. I'll go check out his TikTok and Instagram and all of that. And while we're on the topic of promoting channels and all that, make sure to check out all of our platforms, of course, here on YouTube, soon to be Twitch, as well. We have plans for that. TikTok as well. Well, plans for that next season.
2027.
And go check us out as well on Instagram, on Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts as well. We'll be there. Again, just to briefly apologize for leaving everyone somewhat in the dark for a few long months. It's been on a very serious personal side of things. It's been really difficult.
Don't
something else is and all that. But one thing I will say, it's been difficult. But I mean, shout out to everyone who's been being all the backing and full support. So from myself personally and everyone at Premier League Prime Time, we really, 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 really appreciate it. Just to say on a very, very real note, some things are bigger than football, and that's all. I'll leave you with that. Just to give them a brief, very, very brief statement. But Man United in attack. Oh wait. Was that Mount? Oh, okay.
Mount almost scored.
Imagine Mason Mount scoring at the bridge.
This is gonna beat him.
I will say this: no matter how much, even though I absolutely despise and can't stand that signing in every way, shape, and form, just not only of what it's turned out to be, but also what it symbolizes as well. In just poor transfer decision making and poor financial judgment as well. I really, really do hope, especially these last 3 games, regardless of who it is, that I do see them, the prime Mason Mount at Chelsea. I see the Chelsea Mason Mount for Man United, at least for the rest of the season, man, because we need that Europa League to at least salvage something. And if we can get any points out of the next 2 games, then guess what? All for it. Because we have not won back-to-back games since this manager has arrived. And I know, a lot of you are probably wondering, since the last time, I've actually been here in present, live for everybody to see and to judge and all that. Are probably wondering, what are your thoughts on the manager, Amrabat? On the other podcasts that I've been on, I know you two heard this from me probably more than anybody, but it's not just Ammer in it or Ammer out or this player in and this player out. For me, I use, as for those who the vast majority that know me, man, now, 95% of the time I judge players just on the eye test and what I can see from the eye, because more times than none your eyes don't deceive you, and I use my eyes and my ears to listen to some of the things that the manager says in press conferences, his in-game decisions, and all of that. I don't know, there have been a lot of red flags, a lot of major doubts, and things that have worried me. However, I think there are problems which are also somewhat bigger than the manager is as well as of right now. But if he were to say the scenario, regardless of the Europa League, at the end of the season he gets sacked, I mean, if he brings us to a 16th, 15th place finished, especially that, he can have no complaints because he's been here since November to work with these players. So, anyways, all we know, Chelsea are in. Oh no! Oh, woo! Good strike from Reece James, man. Just wide of the post. And speaking of Reece James, this is probably the longest I've ever seen Reece James actually match fit for once. Oh, off the post.
Oh, I forgot.
I thought it went wide.
Chelsea, not gonna lie.
That would have been a perfect technique.
Oh, wow. That would have been a brilliant goal.
Oh my gosh.
The delayed reactions.
Oh, the curve on that shot, man. Whoosh.
One thing I will say, and I'll throw this question out to you, Ousmane, on the topic of Reece James. For me, I've always rated Reece James. I think not only just as a defender, but as an all-around footballer, I think he's top for his position, man. I think he's a very good footballer and a top defender as well. He's good going forward. He's good going on the defense as well.
When it comes to Reece James, right, undoubtedly,
is it just fitness?
Yeah, it's just injuries, because it's like I remember 2 years ago, this guy was in the conversations with the best.
Yeah, the Reece James, Trent debate,
and Cancelo, and Hakimi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all know how those.
He was definitely in those conversations for sure.
Because remember, Chelsea had just won the UCL. Reece James was. I mean, he wasn't really in England
or even in the running. I'd say Tuchel straight away.
Put him at wing back.
Playing him at wing back.
And then
but of course, being at Chelsea through and through, the best ever manager and interim manager that I've ever seen at Chelsea, Frank Lampard. You got to pay him homage as well.
No, I mean Lampard is
his opportunity.
He had like what? He had a locker room that's like what? Well, that locker room went to finals. And his first season, he got fourth, and then made it to a cup finals. So he was on the transfer ban as well. It was literally the kids. But now he got more under 20s. And yeah, bro, he managed to F that one up.
Oh, speaking of Tuchel,
He's there.
The camera says panned, and Tuchel's at the match. Watching it right now. At least, on my side of things, that will, kind of mean something to me, just in regards to international football as well. So it'll be interesting to see what new insights or thoughts that he ends up taking away from this match, or if he's just here, just on the inside, just supporting Chelsea, man.
He's probably here for England because he has Mount.
No, he is.
Madueke, Colwell.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah, you got Colwell, Madueke.
Cosin.
I wouldn't say George as much, but definitely
he might get
for the youth sides.
The way he's been playing recently.
No, not a senior team call. I would love to see it personally, just because I'd love to see young players get given an opportunity.
And
Cole Palmer's in.
Palmer.
Oh, unlucky, man. I almost scored. I remember this match also gives me PTSD. The last time this match played, I was present in Stamford Bridge. And thank you very much to the Chelsea ticketing and all that. I bought a ticket for the match for the away end, and I ended up being given a ticket right in the Chelsea end, and also called the ticketing office to see what they could do. They didn't do anything. So yeah, I had to watch that match and everything that unfolded in the 4-3 right in front of my eyes. Oh no.
Woo!
Okay.
Handball.
Wait. Oh, wait. What's just happened? Wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. The referee's calling us the other way. Wait.
Apparently there's a handball now.
Wait. But let me see the replay again.
That don't count.
But let me see the replay again. Wait. Oh, yeah, definitely. However, there's definitely a shout. One thing I will say, of course, with VAR and in the modern day now, was it
bullshit?
Yes, it hit his hand, it hit his arm, but of course, as especially modern day football now with VAR, it always comes down to the question whether it was like
if it was intentional or in a natural position.
Yeah, natural position or just natural instinct or all of that. It is what it is, whether people like it or not. So it also comes out to those wires, and apparently, the referees deemed that it's there's nothing really in it. So,
I have a question
on Rasmus Højlund, though. One thing I will say,
wait, Dave, I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Damsgaard to United. Discuss.
Mikkel Damsgaard.
Damsgaard to United.
You mean the player from Brentford?
Yes, indeed.
I would rather have Brian and Bournemouth.
Wait. Just why Damsgaard of all players? This is just so random.
I mean, he fits the 3-5-3-4-3.
Echoing what you just said, if I'm getting anyone from Brentford, I'd be looking at Mbeumo or Visa, honestly, one of those two. Or if not, honestly, I'd be considering the manager too. I'd be considering the manager.
Thomas Frank? I wouldn't mind that.
Thomas Frank is a very, very, very good coach. He's a very good manager. And the one thing I will say, and I know Ousmane is definitely still traumatized from Graham Potter. The one thing I will say, and you have to
GP,
the one thing I will say, and the one thing I will say, like myself, Ousmane's not someone that gives that gives credit very easily, rightfully so. to many
watching
managers
for a
that.
very long time.
But for me, he brought that Brentford side up from the Championship, and over time, we have seen, their evolution. They've gone from just a team that's just outstanding in the Premier League, now pushing for like a Conference League place, being in and around upper mid-table, and now they're trying to get, top half of the table, and this is a team, and this is why I say coaches, for me, if you're a good coach, you will see, more times than the best side of your side that you can get, which for me, our players are way better than 15th or 16th, which, Eric Ten Hag, which everyone knows, how much how big of a critic I was of him. We are playing worse under this manager than we are under Ten Hag. We are playing worse under him, under his system. And I'd say it's not even necessarily like the back three, the back five necessarily, because examples. You look at Glasner at Palace. You look at Vitor Pereira at Wolves. You look at even Inzaghi, even though it's completely different levels of quality at Inter.
Bro,
but with players that aren't the youngest, and they're definitely on the older side, it can work.
They're more tactically
deploy the system properly.
Given time.
It's not just time. It's also about deploying the system properly. This manager's playing defenders at wing back.
You know how I feel, all right? It's also like you got to look at the strengths of your squad, because modern day managers, me personally, how can you tell another man he does not play the way I want to play? Like, bro.
Madueke is in. Mazraoui just got cooked by Madueke. Oh my days.
Look at Barcelona with Flick right now. That shot. Look at Ten Hag. Look at who else? A couple of names. Conte. Inzaghi. Just to name a few. Right. You have Amorim. You have Mota. You have.
Chelsea have a corner here.
At one point, they all said
Pedro Neto's taking it.
These players don't play the same. Want to play. I also want to throw Maresca there. Well, these players want to play. I want them to play.
Oh no, Chelsea have a corner here. Oh no, wait.
Boom.
Oh, good block from was that Ahmad or Dorgu? I don't know. But set pieces just scare me because we're terrible at set pieces, man. Well done from Maguire, man. Well done.
So I was saying, right, at one point they all said,
sorry, you're saying
they don't wanna these players cannot play the way I want them to play. And I look at them like, some managers, especially the ones that are experienced, the old school, they work with what they got. And then boom, they get success. Flick in the span of 9 months, he nearly did a quadruple.
Of course, the older managers also have their cons as well.
No, I mean that high line with Barcelona was kind of crazy. I said that high line's
like the Jose, as brilliant as Jose Mourinho is, he also has his cons as well. Yeah, Jose football, it's not great. Antonio Conte, again, serial winner. No one can question that guy's CV. No one can question that guy's pedigree because that guy is a serial winner. However, we've also seen the cons of a Conte, of a Jose, even the likes of a Tuchel. The tactics at times are outdated, which you need to modernize a little bit.
No, I wouldn't say outdated. It's just that everybody wants to play the same way now.
And that's the problem. You can find a balance. It's all about a balance for me.
Balance.
You don't have to be.
You not give a F about XG and possession and control.
No. It doesn't have to all be about that. I'm not saying you got to be
found in the middle.
About that.
Is that a yellow for Enzo?
It's becoming.
I just think at times, yes, I don't like, how the
no, because the thing is,
what managers are now, the modern day ones, but
they all want to copy Pep. They all want because they work for Pep.
No, exactly, and I don't like that. However,
Pep,
however, at the same time, the older guard has their issues as well.
In his recruitment, he didn't have to do a massive overhaul.
Mark Cucurella is shutting down Ahmad, bro. That's not looking good.
Here and there. and he outspent really almost everybody in the league.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, that's a good ball in. Oh, never mind. From Natson, man, but oh no.
Now you have goalkeepers playing it out from the back. You have, bro.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with goalkeepers playing it out out the back. I mean,
Bro,
if the possession-based thing works, it works, man.
Bro. Now
I just don't like how that's like the thing now.
A ball since when they wanted a ball? Because remember in our time, right? We barely had any.
Mm-hmm.
We had shot stoppers, bro. The only versatile ones was like maybe Neuer and Van der Sar. The ones that
I'll consider,
even
I guess you can. I'll throw Alisson and Ederson definitely not as much, but Alisson, as well. I'll include Alisson in that. In the bracket. Alisson is fair. Even Ederson to a certain extent, he's definitely not the best shot stopper, but he's a very good shot stopper. Pause.
Yeah.
Todd Bowley's at the game.
You have guys like Robert.
So was Thomas Tuchel in the stands.
What's the other guy's name, bro? Robert Sanchez and Andre Onana.
Those two, man.
Bro, the best partnership, right?
Battle of the heads.
Those two, man. Yeah. I don't know what goalkeepers.
Who's worse?
Honestly,
Bro,
I'd rather have neither.
That's not even a conversation, bro. We already know who's worse.
I'd rather have neither at this point, man. I'd rather have neither, man. I choose Tom Heaton, bro. I choose Tom Heaton, or I choose. I don't even know, man. Even Willie Caballero right now, who's Maresca's number 2. Bring him out of our timeline, man.
Nah, bro. How about Jorgensen, who's on the bench? Chelsea's number 2
He
out of 8 keepers.
You know what? Yeah, for what I've seen of him, he has his. I think he's okay.
That's the board, bro. That's not American-ish, bro. The American board. They want everybody to come together. Oh no, Santos has high resale value. Brighton's number 3, by the way. Bro, the last time we recruited somebody's number 3, we won the Champions League with Mendy. We got Brighton's number 3.
Mm-hmm.
We can barely make Champions League.
Would you want Aritza Balaga back from Bournemouth?
I would rather.
You know what he will say? Kepa. Yeah, in regards to the fee, the wages, and all that. I mean, but of course, applying the context to it. I mean, Courtois ended up, leaving very, very late. Even though I would say it was more of a fault of like Marina and the Chelsea recruitment team and all that.
No, you think our
because he left very late in the window, and it was a panic buy. Really, if you think about it, they needed a goalkeeper immediately. So that's the first one. But I mean, you know what? I will say, at Bournemouth, he started off the season really, really well. He's been playing really well for most of the season. At Bournemouth right now.
Yeah, he's not been bad at Bournemouth. That's
why
he dropped off a little bit, but just normal.
Now with this new ownership, they basically want to clear house. Anything associated with Tuchel and the last regime, they want to clear house.
Bar Reece James.
Reece James, no, because Reece James was the only one that's taking it, bro. Well,
the only one that they ended up keeping or wanted to keep was Reece James. I mean, even with the Mounts and Havertz's and all that, or with Mount more in particular,
bro,
they were open to
over for 18 months.
They're open to keeping Mount, but not on the wages he wanted. And they were just not as stupid and as as careless as the Man United directors at the time with Murto Madness and Ten Hag and SCG to offer the wages that our club offered him.
No, but even Chilwell,
it's crazy, man.
Everybody had like a bumper contract. Chilwell was on 250.
Hey big up Wally to every single Wally, big up yourself every single time, my bro. Every single time. Big up my guy every single time. Like Drew as well. His socials, and TikTok and all that, smooth man, it's going crazy. And over there, back in London, man, I miss it in London, remember us, bro. I miss it back in London, man. Honestly, I need to be back ASAP. Wait, he says, How about would it be if Chelsea paid the 5 mil to United just to take Sancho back? On Jadon Sancho, one thing I will say, I'll ask you the question, being objective and honest, right? Because I know, I'm not saying everyone, but I know some fans, especially in our fan base, just like to use, narratives and stereotypes, but just being objective and from what you see from him as a footballer on the pitch, just what are your thoughts having on Sancho throughout the season? Because, as I've said many times, he was one of your best players in the first half of the season. He was one of your best. But of course, yeah, he's dropped off massively and he's been relatively poor. But just looking at his time at Chelsea just as an entirety, just what are your thoughts having on him in general?
Of
Sancho. At Chelsea.
I mean, from a Chelsea perspective, okay, he had like a good 2 months, and then obviously when everybody regressed, he was the main one. It's like you cannot tell me we have all this creativity because on paper this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, at one point we had in the first half of the season when everybody was talking about title race. Yo, people say we had the best attack in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Now we regress completely, and that's not that's not fairly on them.
Yeah,
that's basically on the Pep disciple, bro. Because
collision. Reece James is down right now, injured
with Dorgu.
Yeah, which of course that will always be a worry. Knowing Reece James. Back to the Sancho thing. I know Chelsea and Man United fans.
What is Højlund doing?
Honestly, I've stopped asking myself that question a long time ago, man. And I know the answer to that question. What is Højlund doing? The answer is nothing, really.
Bro, you see, that's another 6 months right there, bro. That's another.
All Reece James did was just step on Patrick Dorgu's foot, so nothing bad for Dorgu, thankfully.
But getting back to the Sancho thing, because one thing I will say, I'd say up until for almost the entirety of the first half of the season, most of what I was hearing from Chelsea is, thank you very much, Man United as well, bargain all that, and then it started at I'd say Manchester City away for me was like the start of like Jadon Sancho's. And he's been poor. He's not been good enough.
That's another 6 months.
As much as I rate the player, he hasn't been good enough. But at the same time, like I always say, the same thing with Neto, and the same thing with the rest of the attackers. The only ones that really has any credit in the bank really is Cole Palmer. But even in recent weeks, Sancho's been putting in good performances in the Premier League. Yes, you can only play who's in front of you. The goal he scored against Ipswich was a brilliant goal. His impact off the bench against Fulham, good performance. So he's also had some good performances in there.
But they're only giving him credit because it's like, apart from those 2 games, because the last 7 months. I'm sorry, did I say last 7 months? Since January, no, I lied. I'm sorry. Since December, after Christmas, it just went basically, bro.
No, I'd say the start of the when Chelsea played Man City away, and yes,
Fulham. It all started with Fulham because it was.
And yes,
and then all that just started progressing.
One thing I will say about Sancho is that we've seen it at Dortmund, we've seen it at Man United, and we've now seen it at Chelsea. The kind of football is which which people think, and again, and I'm very, very glad, that Ousmane, is in the same, he sits in the same point of view and perspective as I do. That football isn't just G&A, and football shouldn't just be judged on that. If you have, if you're not, always on the stat sheet, but you're absolutely brilliant in other aspects of the game, then we just saw it now. I just saw it now with Enzo. Wait,
did he actually sky there? Was that offsides?
Surely he was offside. Surely
Cole Palmer almost hit a banger from outside the box.
That's a really good. That's a good strike from Palmer as well.
Bro,
wait. Let me see it again because, bro.
That was a good save from Ronaldo.
Surely he was offside. Surely.
He knew he was.
Yeah, he was off. No, he was off. He was
back
off.
of his mind that he was off.
But even then,
He
though,
didn't have a rebound like that.
I don't even care if you're offside. To a certain extent, yeah.
It was still wouldn't have.
I still don't care if you're
bro.
offsides. I still don't care if you're offside. You have to be, bro. You have to be taking your chances, man. Honestly. But what I was saying with Sancho is that he's very different from Neto. He's very different from Madueke. He offers something very different. He's a pass first player. He's a facilitator.
Sancho is like he goes.
No, it's not United bias. It's just what I've seen. At Dortmund, what was his main thing at Dortmund, and he loved playing with Haaland and Bellingham. Right. Then again, anyone would love to play alongside Erling Haaland.
His first 6 months, okay, fine. He was on the eye, like he was dribbling and everything, but like his finishing, it was just useless, bro. Like, bro.
No, yeah, and that's something he needs to improve. I mean,
think he had like 3 assists the entire time he was there, something like that. But
also, again, looking at actual, just the actual performances as well. His stats are very, very underwhelming, and they aren't good enough. They're nowhere near good enough for a player of his talent and his ability and his reputation. I'm not saying that at all. And for the minutes he was initially given in the side, especially when Madueke was out for a long while as well, and it was Neto, Sancho, and Cole Palmer and Jackson up front. I'd say after the game at Man City that Chelsea played, yeah, he was nowhere near good enough. However, the one thing which which I still somehow need to remind just football fans in general is that just because you're not always on the G&A stats, that doesn't mean you offer nothing as and you're not a good footballer, man. The amount of times where Sancho, he's supplying players, he's providing opportunities for the likes of Palmer, Jackson, and others. He's been robbed of many assists this season, and even in certain games as well. Just looking at his performances, his performances have been largely decent to good. They've been largely good performances, but of course the stats and XG and G&A sheet won't reflect that. I didn't think good enough for what he was expected to do in regards to output. No, I'd say no, but I would say £25 million, yeah, is like spare change in today's market, especially for a club like Chelsea. Which, I mean, if I'm Chelsea, I'd be signing Sancho all day long, whether he's a starter or backup. He can be a depth signing, man. He can be a depth signing. Sancho's a depth signing. What would be the downside of having Sancho as a depth signing, man? Someone to bring off the bench. He doesn't have to be someone that you play every week.
No, but look at it. We already have Felix on the books and everything.
Felix. What's this happened there? Wait,
yeah. Cool, just pull off his shirt, bro.
Kendall versus.
Whoa!
Wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Wait. What's
a little bit of a magic mic?
Why is it always Højlund, man? Why is it always this guy? And you already know what's gonna happen, right?
Those two should get a room.
Hey, yo.
Yo, true, man. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Watch Rasmus Højlund, take that moment. And he'll get the photographs from it, and he'll do some stupid Instagram post, yeah, with some stupid caption, and everyone's gonna comment, okay, Rasmus the caption king, and all that, and all that bullshit. I'm gonna have to see that again. It's so annoying, man. So annoying. But one thing I will say, I think there are players at Chelsea that do get away with the criticism.
Bro.
Wait. What is with Højlund, man, bro?
Rasmus is taking off his shirt, bro.
Hey,
shirt. That's 2 times in a row.
What's with this guy, man? Stop.
And the first
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. The fact how I had to more or less be on an island by myself for a vast majority of this season, yeah, I'd say up until maybe February, and still am with a lot of Man United fans now. I literally had to have the stupid, the Højlund Xerxes debates. Yeah, thank goodness some fans that have have been able to talk to and and to meet to get to know. They've seen the severe flaws in that point of view, and and at least they've respectfully have held their hands up and said, hey, I was wrong. And Xerxes is better than Højlund. I don't know why, for not all the families, but most of them, it's taken them so long to actually realize that with Xerxes, man, honestly. And but the person we got now, we miss Xerxes badly. We miss Jay-Z, man. Although I did hear in a report, I think by The Athletic, that Xerxes is Drew. I don't know if you've seen, but Joshua Xerxes apparently
he's training alone at Carrington,
and no one's training alone, but he's working super hard to try and be fit for that final. Which, I mean, hey, if he is, I mean, like I said with Ahmad, right? And even then, Ahmad for me shouldn't be playing in the Premier League. He shouldn't be. He should be wrapped up in cotton wool for the Europa League, because that's the only reason why. I even said in the first place, we need Ahmad back for the Europa. That's it. And the same with Xerxes. De Ligt is out because this manager decided he's been out. De Ligt who had been out for ages. This guy decided for just whatever reason that he was just going to throw him straight into the starting 11, and then he gets injured again, and now he's out for the season. So we don't have one of our best center backs because of that, and this manager has done that many of times. So I hope Xerxes back, even if Xerxes like 70% fit.
Yeah, or even if he just got a couple minutes.
We need everybody, especially the handful of half decent players that we got for that final, for that one game. We need them there. We need them there. Even 70%. Xerxes at 70%. For me, he's available. You can bring him off the bench for the last like half an hour. You can bring off the bench for the last half an hour, 40 minutes, and you can bring off you can bring him off the bench for that. So but it's half time. I know it's a bit of a delay, but it's half time right now. 0-0. Ousmane, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts so far after seeing the first half of that match?
I stand on the draw. Comfortable position. Chelsea capitalizing. We have a hard time scoring goals, especially like the form that we're in. The confidence is not there. As for United, I feel like they have the upper hand in this half right now. You see, as of right now, we're sixth. Villa are fourth. See what I think? Worst case scenario, we can finish.
Wait. Oh yeah. Did please tell me Tottenham didn't score. Okay, good. Not that it's anything against Chelsea, but no, I don't care about the Premier League, but just all I desire is that Tottenham stay below us. That's all I desire. Honestly, I'm not trying to finish below Tottenham in the league, especially in 17th. But whatever happens this season, I do not want to be finishing below Tottenham. Oh yeah, they're 2-0 up. Konsa and Abubakar Kamara with the goals.
Oh, yep.
83rd minute. Yeah, that's I'm just getting sacked, bro. I'm just getting sacked.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Wait. No way have I just seen Reguilon in the starting 11. Wait.
Yep, Reguilon was starting.
Wait, I need to refresh the page to make sure I'm seeing this correctly, because oh my days, he actually did start Reguilon. I'm genuinely stunned, that has taken Ange Postecoglou this long, because he has, as much as I admire Ange's desire to be attack-minded in his style of play. Obviously, his style of football has a very, very, very great many flaws to it. The hard line for life and all that was crazy. And the fact that we're just playing regular now, I remember early on the season, throughout the season, how many times did we see Archie Gray at left back? And you'd see regular on the bench. Like,
Archie Gray is either playing
you gotta be
outside
taking the
back,
piss, man.
center back, or center defensive mid for Tottenham. But mostly,
Like, you've got to be taking the piss with that,
back
man.
line.
Honestly, bro, that's crazy, man. You got to be taking the piss with that. But Drew, over to you. Just your brief halftime thoughts on what we've seen so far. Currently 0-0.
Well, from assessing this first half from the eye test, clearly we've been possessing a lot better. Sometimes giving away the ball stupidly. Decent half from Onana, saving Cole Palmer's shot. And, luckily, Chelsea, I feel like Chelsea have had the better end of chances in chance creation, especially when we saw Noni Madueke's shot in the first 5 minutes of the game, which he should have finished. I feel like it's been decently even for both sides. United doesn't really have anything to play for, but it looks like, they're really rehearsing themselves to get a good performance for Wednesday night's Europa League final. But they got to be cautious, not take it too hard, because we don't want to see any players getting cramps or getting, some weird injuries that Xerxes did against Newcastle, where they somehow pull their hamstring. So I feel like the players need to.
Whose decision was it to play Xerxes in Newcastle when you just didn't need to? Yeah,
exactly.
You could have played Cheeto, and you could have even played the other guy. But
easily.
You chose to play Xerxes, and he got injured instead of saving him for the Europa League, which was, even back then I said the league is a write-off and Europa should be what we care about right now. However, even though that's what our main focus should be, I will never, ever, 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 I don't care who the manager is, who the players are, Manchester United in 16th, 17th place positions in the Premier League. The factor that like those two things are even bracketed together, excuse my language, but that's a fucking disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. And the one thing I will say,
2009.
yeah, I mean,
if we somehow get 3 points from this game, we're in front of Wolves, we're in front of Everton, we're in front of West Ham, and we're in front of Tottenham. That puts us in 13th or 14th place. I think 13th.
I'll say this right now. For me, and again, if I somehow get this wrong, and you can click this, can post this and or whatnot, we will not get 6 points from our last 2 games. We will not. We will not get 6 points. There's no chance. Villa.
Oh yeah, y'all not winning that one. You guys are not.
No chance.
Villa are gonna want to stay. Are gonna want to be in the top 5 and stay in touch and distance as much as they can. So they're gonna want to. It's
literally this match. It's like we're running this match back again in regards to the opposition and what's on the line and what's at stake for them. It's literally this match just twice, just a different club. That's it. Two teams that are literally fighting tooth and nail to find any sort of a difference maker to just push them, get them over the line and into Champions League football. That's literally what both of our last 2 games are. So I mean, it's crazy. It's actually crazy, man. Honestly, for what's at stake for both Chelsea and Villa, man. They both need to as of right now, or what was in the Villa game? It's 80th minute. Yeah. Villa look set to win this game.
Man,
now it's kind of like, and now it's over to Chelsea. Really?
There's already nearly 3,000 comments in 10 minutes on Chelsea's halftime post. Oh, there's a comment that's already at nearly 1,000 likes that says, besides Caicedo, does any other Chelsea player want to act like this is a must-win game?
That's not. Oh wait. one thing I will tell you, man, and both of you, make sure both of you repost. I'm pretty sure my editor put up the story and all of that. So yeah, my editor's message is texting me now. Yeah, make sure both you and Ousmane just repost and that.
Chelsea don't even look like they want the 3 points. What exactly is Maresca saying to these guys?
Yeah, but for me, I was set. I had this fear
already winning the league. It looks like only Caicedo who wants to play in Champions League next season. So it looks like Caicedo is the most standout player from Chelsea from the first half, according to the comments.
Not just the first half of this game. For me, he's been their standout player this entire season. He's their player of the season, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
If you were to ask me by the end of, again, after the first 6 months, you could easily say Cole Palmer has a shout. With Enzo has a shout. Definitely. And Enzo's been very good for like most of the season, I'd have to say. You could say all those guys as well.
Last season for sure.
Maybe even Cucurella. However, looking at how the season has turned out for me, there's only one rightful winner allowed. And if it's anybody but Moises Caicedo, then for me, I find it hard to agree. Also fans, again, they do get upset with me about a lot of things. I mean, not just because for me, it's as my own personal philosophy still stands, and all you lot know at this point, for me, it's anybody but Arsenal every single time. They've gotten upset with me a lot because I've said, on countless times, if in a fantasy world, in a fantasy world right now, and Declan Rice and Caicedo were free agents, and we could sign only one, we could sign one or the other, and both wanted to sign for the club, I'm taking Caicedo, man. I'm taking Moises Caicedo. I'm taking, I've always said Caicedo is a way better all-round footballer than Declan Rice. For the amount that Rice does get slandered, I will say, yeah. Especially from Ousmane, yeah. Especially from Ousmane is a very, very harsh critic of Declan Rice. I mean, I am as well. To be fair, because he does get protected a lot, and his poor performances in many of those big occasions do not get talked about enough. However, above anything, I'm a footballing person, footballing personality more than anything, and I'll give credit where it's due. As painful as it was for me to see what Arsenal did to Real Madrid, have to give them their flowers, man.
I'm back,
Declan
guys.
Rice had to give him his him his credit as well.
What did I miss?
Only two things really. Firstly, a message about my editor to forward to both of you. He just told me to tell you, just to repost what you posted on the official Premier League primetime account, and the only other part that you missed was talking about how brilliant Moises Caicedo has been this season, how he's the only candidate. He is the only candidate for Chelsea's player of the season, player of the year award. The only one who deserves it. And how Arsenal fans get mad at the pair of us in particular when I say that I'm taking Caicedo over Rice, even though I still as harsh a critic as we both are on Declan Rice. I still think Rice is a very good player, but nothing more than that. And he does not have the technical level and IQ and the competence of Caicedo, man. Honestly, he doesn't. He doesn't. For me, when I look at consistency, Declan Rice is a very consistent player. Don't get me wrong. However, Caicedo's performances this season have been unreal. There's a reason why, Caicedo, in a far worse in air quotes, because, air quotes, in a far worse team in Chelsea, is proving to be more of a standout, a performer, and getting, more, and getting, the shouts for team of the season than Declan Rice has. Declan Rice has had a very good season, but nowhere near the season that Caicedo has. Nowhere near. But for how Caicedo's been performing, he's had to perform at right back. He's had to perform at, in the midfield as well, and he's been brilliant, honestly. Honestly, 115 as of right now. Of course, in the long run, we might, opinions might change, but for me, that 100-something million, he's nowhere near worth it. Value wise when they sign him, but the performances that you're getting from him and how integral he is to the team, he's proving to be, an 100 million pound player in regards to how important he is to Chelsea, man. But on Caicedo, Ousmane, how much, how highly do you rate Caicedo, and what do you think his ceiling is?
If it wasn't a better team, he would be getting Ballon d'Or shots.
Ballon d'Or shots, okay.
Bro, Ballon d'Or shots, huh?
If Chelsea was doing better, or in Champions League, then because you see already, you compare him to the next Kante or whatever it is.
Caicedo should go to Real Madrid, bro.
Yeah. But nobody.
Yeah. Caicedo gets into, for me. Caicedo gets in for me when I look at just teams around the world.
No, because I remember.
In regards to player positions, I'd say maybe only if you're looking at every team's number 6, right? Only Man City with Rodri fully fit is maybe the only number 6. That he doesn't
more
start
like
over.
A Busquets kind of.
Yeah, but Rodri just playing that number 6 role for City, and I'd say for me, he's, especially when I look at defensive midfield or so-called defensive midfielders today. For me,
Rodri
it's only Rodri that's ahead of him. It's only Rodri that's ahead of him. When I look at all around qualities, apart from Rodri, there's nobody for me. Yeah, that's a better number 6 than Caicedo right now for me.
No, like I said, he was in a better team, yeah, but he's at a underwhelming Chelsea right now, so he's not really getting the attention.
Your audio is tuning in and out. It is kind of difficult to just to let you know.
I was saying, right, like
all good. Wait, Chelsea have a free kick right now. No,
Casemiro got booked.
No. I've seen this goalkeeper concede how many free kicks, man. This goalkeeper can't save.
Oh, but the thing is, Pablo Sarabia was literally right outside the box on this free kick.
He missed.
From
this
this range,
can't take any long shots from distance, man. I swear to you.
I think
this could be a repeat.
Reece James.
Wait.
3, 2, 1. Oh, blocked by the wall.
It hit Bruno.
He survived. Okay. Let me see. I would have given it to Cole Palmer, man.
No, Palmer can't.
Bro, Cole Palmer can take free kicks, man.
He can, yeah. Jeez, that was right at Bruno's face.
He has the ability.
Actually, no, that was a shoulder. What the freak? That wasn't
that Brighton. That free kick against Brighton that Cole Palmer scored was honestly incredible.
Brighton Munich.
Yeah, man. No, you're right, man. You're right. I can't be calling them Brighton, man, because Brighton have owned my football club for years. So yeah, I have to pay Brighton the respects, man. You're right. It's Brighton Munich, man. It is Brighton Munich. Wait,
managed by a 31-year-old German, bro.
Wait, what's Højlund doing, man? Just like
Højlund is off.
This guy's jogging off. Why is this guy smiling, man? Like, what's with him? Wait. Oh, okay. No, his wrist tape, whatever it is, he just took his wrist tape off. What's this guy doing?
And whatever he was wearing.
I swear to you. I swear to you. Yeah. All footballing opinions, of course, all footballing opinions are welcome. Are welcome here on PLPT. We like to hear from everybody. But But for me,
Yo, what the hell is all this politics, bro? Kick the
What are
ball.
they doing?
but honestly, for all those who've gone out of the way to send abuse to send abuse in my DMs in my text in the comment section as well, that I'm XYZ and this and that because I don't agree. I've never agreed with Hoyland being better than Xerxes. Yeah, all you lot need to be put. Every single one of you need to be put on trial for that.
Bro,
I swear to you,
Bro,
like 3-1 up.
I'll say this right now. I am 100% ready to be generationally cooked. Me and millions of others Man United fans if we lose on Wednesday
why are
night.
you being so? You know what's crazy? What's crazy? What's actually crazy? On other podcasts and off camera as well, or offset, I should say, in group chat calls and all that. This is not the usual drill. Let me just let all of you know right now. This is very interesting, very, 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 very interesting because I've never seen this version of Drew. This is very new for me. Whether he's just doing it to make a good first impression, which I mean, oh wait, no, you've been on the channel before, but to make a good impression, which I mean, hey, fair enough. Oh wait, what just happened? Wait,
Ahmad
with oh yeah, of course he missed.
Mason Mount almost scored.
Mason Mount,
man,
Drew,
that
your
was
guy
right.
Mason Mount, bro. Actually, that's actually perfect timing. Drew, talk about your guy Mason Mount, bro, because you're a big defender of Mason Mount.
Of course I am. I've been defending him ever since he signed for the club, bro.
Do you still think he's a good signing?
I
For
don't
60
think
million.
I don't think he's a great signing, but I think he's a good signing for. I mean, from what we have from what we have right now with Amarin, I feel like he
Let's not
fits
talk
very
about
well
right
in
now.
Amarin's system.
What was he brought in for? Why was he brought here? Who was he brought in here for? The whole point of him being here. Why? Why was he brought in? No. Yeah, there you go. We could have had Sabitzer for what?
Because the thing
yes,
is, like,
he was
the
injured
idea,
a good amount, but
the
20
idea of having a
million,
midfield three of Fernandez and Casemiro on Mount back then
that doesn't work.
just seemed very interesting.
It doesn't work anyways.
Well, yeah,
the way
because Fernandez he can easily play in the 6 or 8. It's not like he can just play in the 10.
Bruno and Mount are somewhat similar players. They both want the freedom. They both don't have the discipline or the defensive discipline. I'd say Bruno is in the system having to play in that pivot. Bruno's been forced to to maintain that discipline, to not be so erratic and chaotic going forward because he's not been playing in the 10 in those two inverted 10s. But for me, Mason Mount, I don't think nobody was saying this before. Amarin, walked into the job. I mean, I feel like you're giving it away here. You're giving it away here. Oh my days.
I
don't know what was that. Lindelof from Maguire.
Neto's just a paste merchant. It's okay.
He cost Neto costs what? 60 mil?
60 million.
He's not that bad. I mean, it's Maresca. So.
But here's the thing, and this is where I do have an issue. Of course, not with you, Ousmane, but with especially the newer the new generation football fans. Yeah, they'll have certain standards for certain players. Yeah, but then for other players, the standard doesn't apply. And it's not even like the other player has achieved Champions Leagues. Has achieved Champions Leagues. They won multiple league titles, the highest of levels. They're both you could say fairly somewhat similar in regards to levels, I guess you can say. Or if they're two very, very different kinds of footballs, or if they're two players whose the financial sides of things, on the financial sides in regards to their transfers brought into the club, a guy who, a loan signing with a vouch and a 25 mil, and a guy who signed for 60 mil. They've both been rubbish. Definitely for the second half of the season, for sure, but even though Neto was definitely struggling in the beginning, in the beginning part of the season too. Remember, it was Neto the one who was getting
yes, counter, please counter.
Oh, unlucky, man.
Fernandez guy.
Yeah, but that's one that
Damn, bro.
that I would say, a lot of definitely some of the criticism that Sancho's gotten this season. It's been warranted, it's been deserved, and it's been fair with his output. Neto, who is arguably worse output and affects games far less and offers far less, he's been allowed to get away with it. He's not been given the same energy, the same standards, even though he costs 60 million or something like that. Someone like Sancho, which you
love
the same energy.
So much, bro. Y'all want to?
No, I defend Jadon Sancho because so many times but so many times I've seen players aren't held to the same standard.
They both
or when they have good performances, when they do good things,
bro. Down Europe's third tier BS.
I've always been saying
West Ham won, bro. West Ham won Conference League. You think I give a damn about Conference League?
There's nothing to do with the Conference League. What I'm saying is, if you're going to criticize Sancho, then criticize Madueke, criticize Neto. Criticize Neto, criticize Madueke, who received the same, if not more minutes, who also cost more money.
Bro, Højlund's so
when they came to Chelsea. So that's all I'm saying. If you're one to say Sancho's been shit and Neto's been rubbish and Madueke's not been good enough, then fair enough. Fair enough.
Yo, is Højlund a footballer or he's like a student? Which one?
Bro, Højlund did.
No. I told man about that guy already, bro. Don't think we're up front, bro. I told people about this guy and Rasmus Højlund,
clueless with the ball up top. Amram needs
to
limit his time, bro.
All those that rate Rasmus Højlund, yeah. And look, I'm gonna reiterate this again. All footballing opinions are welcome. The more variety of different fans with different perspectives, hey, the better. Always great to have different footballing opinions and perspectives and all that here. But the one thing that what their opinions I find it very hard to even relate to or to agree with in any way, shape, or form at all. And the Højlund Xerxes debate, Højlund being better than Xerxes, that's one of them.
Bro, Xerxes has changed
finding any argument of why Højlund should be here or what Højlund offers and all that. And the one thing that annoys me all the time, and you don't know what I'm about to say, he doesn't get enough service.
That's the excuses for modern football now. Because, like I said, it's so.
And that's why I say
we grew up watching.
Absolutely,
you telling me you think Cavani waited Cavani had his own chances, especially at United. He created his own chances, bro. Cavani.
The number 9 has been a graveyard ship for Man United for years.
I don't even think Højlund can even survive in the freaking Championship or League One at this point.
Like so many Man United strikers have had, we've always had a problem of just a lack of service in general. But then, if none of them are really getting a lack of service, you can only logically then think to yourself to distinguish each of them or to set them apart. What else do you have in your locker? If you're not getting service yet, what else can you offer?
Look at Jackson. People talk about Jackson, but at least, okay, what do you offer? Jackson has good link-up play, and he has good technique.
He's very good link-up play. Very, very good link-up play. But his finishing's atrocious.
Noni with the ball. Ooh, Noni.
Ooh. Well done from Colpon there. I think you lot might be ahead of me.
Noni cooked up Matt's Rawe, man.
I'm just not watching it.
Wait, what?
You're not watching?
No, I am watching. I'm watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
this game is so.
Another thing with the manager, man, just Masrari at wing back.
Very good.
People. Some people told me, Maz is better at wing back than he is at center back. No, he's not.
No, I disagree with
His
that.
best performances this season have either been when he's been playing as a fullback and a 4, but I'd say even more so,
or as a number 10 under Ten Hag.
No, don't talk about that. No, don't say his name. Don't say his name. Don't say that guy's name. No, don't say that guy's name. even though, one can make a very good argument that this manager here is currently the worst in Man United history, bro. He's worse in Man United history. We've not finished, or we will not finish lower in the league table.
Coach in Manchester United
this is our worst league finish since 1931. 1931.
Manchester United history.
This will be our worst Premier League finish, since 1931. 1931, people. Before World War II, 1931. Let that sink in. 1931. Yeah. Since 1931, this will be our worst ever Premier League finish. And there were seasons where we got relegated.
Evil Saka.
We got relegated.
Ooh,
wait.
Penalty.
Wait, what? You're ahead of me.
No. Wait, let me see what's happened here. Oh, of course it's Onana.
Oh, that is a penalty.
What? Why am I even surprised?
Why did Onana go for that, bro?
The moment I saw Onana charge out of his box, I knew he was going to do some stupidness. I knew he was going to.
Oh no, that's not a penalty. Evil Saka dived.
Let me see. Wait.
That's a dive.
Oh wait, yeah. You know what? Okay. You know what? Onana, for this specific incident here, all my hands up. I apologize. I think if that penalty stands, I think he's been a bit hard done by. I'll say that. But if it gets given, that's fine. Okay, yeah, no, yeah,
that's a dive.
That's not enough.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. No, that shouldn't be a penalty, man.
That's not enough.
And even though he's another one I can't stand. Again, I have to say how it is. It's absolutely not a penalty. Never in a million years. Yeah. This is gonna get. Yeah, the referee's going to be VAR now, and surely this is going to get overturned. Surely.
VAR. Penalty decision under VAR.
There's no way this can stand.
He dived before, bro. He dived before Onana even touched him.
Yeah.
But English referees, though, they do come with a lot of controversy.
Yeah, there's no way that decision can stand in it. There's no way.
Yep.
It's a pen?
No penalty.
No. Oh, lads, by the way, lads and everyone, just so you have an update, a final score, Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 0. So yeah,
I think as Tottenham rested, they rested a handful.
No, they've said over to you, Chelsea. We've done our job. Over to you. It's up to you whether you get 3 points or not. So, and they need to win this game. And I'd say I feel sorry for Tyreek George, man, because a club like Chelsea should not be having just one senior striker in Jackson and having nobody else. Which I feel sorry for Tyreek George that he has to be thrown in this position because he's also not, he's had some good performances in at center forward. He has, but that's not his best position though. His natural position is out wide as a winger, but he can play up front, and he's done all right there. But to have that be your contingency plan when you've got no one else, it's crazy, man. To put all that pressure on Tyreek George, but Man United looking just a little bit more shaky in possession. We look a bit more unsettled on the ball.
Ooh.
Oh, that's dirty.
Yeah. Who's just got? But yeah, Mazraoui, man. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing the tackle now on. Ooh, that seems painful, man.
Gosh.
I think he clamped him on the knee or something like that, innit?
Just the air out of him.
Come here.
Yeah,
get over crazy, here.
Man. That's a bit mad. But yeah, another set piece, man. I swear to you, set pieces terrify me. because we concede
Guys,
so many goals from set pieces. So many. Neto with the ball in. Out of the way.
Levi Cole.
Wait, what's this? Oh, offsides. All right. Just taking a look at the options on the bench for Chelsea. Who can they bring off the bench? Any attackers at all? No. I don't think I see a single attacker on the bench.
Bro, look at these.
I don't.
Frustrated Chelsea fans, bro.
What?
Yeah. Even this guy's a defender. Yeah, there's no attackers on the bench. None. Which, it does make me wonder. And again, question Maresca. Yes, you have no senior level attackers, so why not at least bring an option or two up from the under 23s? Just have a couple options there.
Why does Apple just charge my card, bro? It's always Apple, bro.
That is just so random. Why is Apple?
It's always them. Like this one.
Wait, now you're on the attack. Dorgu, ball in.
Decent cross, but Sanchez easily catches it.
No, poor ball from Dorgu.
You can't float those balls in, bro. Those are easy for keepers to catch.
Even though man just said good ball from Dorgu in it. But anyways, there's one thing that anyone who's watching, run the clip back. The one thing I will say is that that's one thing that hasn't been too great, or that I'll say it's dropped off because initially, especially in the initial thing, in the initial games he was playing, he was putting good crosses into the box, but they dropped off massively. So he needs to improve that part of the game, that part of his game. If he's going to be...
Yeah, I remember he'sgold.com.
What?
He'sgold.com.
Wait, remind me.
The pirate website.
To stream football matches, John.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. But I know for everybody it was different. Like some people had Total Sport Tech, other people had Strikeout. Sports.im, like they're like everybody had theirs.
And then
everybody
I try to watch World Cup and then they said
during classes and that,
weird tricks, bro.
During classes and all that, the real ones on that.
World Cup days, man.
Get Rasmus Højlund out of my club, please.
Who out of your club?
Dolph Ziggler up front, man. I told him about that guy though from time. I've been telling people.
Please, I will beg.
And it's only been starting to like.
Oh, that's a penalty. Is that a penalty?
No, it's a diamond. No.
Oh no! Get the.
No, I'm not playing for that diamond from the angle. Yeah. Come on.
Wow.
Come on. Yeah, come on. That's such a way. Let me see.
Ahmad is a threat.
Yeah, come.
Gosh.
Alejandro Garnacho replaces Mickey Mouse.
No. Yeah, just cool.
Remember this guy scored a hat-trick last year.
Bro, he scored the bicycle kick last season. What does he do to celebrate?
We've started our worst players in the competition that matters more. And in these Premier League games, we're starting our better, more technically competent players.
Mount's coming off.
Oh yes, Gallagher, my favorite.
Yes,
what a
great exchange. Mason Money Mount for Gallagher.
Mason Mount with another nothing performance. For Ugarte, Garnacho on for who? Mount. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we got Ellen DeGeneres on the field. In the words of Davis.
Hey yo, don't quote me with that one. Don't quote me with that one. So I'm trying to get cancelled and all of that. But But yeah, I find it surprising that we're playing our less technically sound players in the competition that's at such high stakes for us. But we're playing our, the better technical players that we've got and starting them in these last few Premier League games. Like, again, and the manager's done this so many times.
Bro, this game is boring. There's somebody just beaming from 40 yards.
This game's been so dead, honestly.
It's like they want to play safe.
Bro, this is like the Manchester Derby at Old Trafford, bro. From this season.
Like, I want to sleep.
So bland.
I'm laying down comfortably. I'm very unprofessional right now.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Oh wait.
Reece James.
Oh, good turn for Reece James.
Oh, Cucurella, what a header.
Goal for Chelsea. Cucurella.
Of course.
Yeah, poor marking, man. That's awful marking, man. That's dreadful. Absolutely awful.
Having one of the most trolled players of the season, bro, score a header on us. That's
you know what? Yeah, you know what? Cucurella for a lot of the season has been the guy to score their goals, man. So credit to Cucurella, man. When the attackers haven't stepped up, Cucurella has been the player that has been stepping up and been showing with goals, man. He has, and as much as I personally can't stand him, just for obviously for international football reasons, and as harsh of a critic as Ousmane is on Cucurella. I mean, that's something that you can't take away from him.
Nope. One season out of a possible 3.
Jeez, that was a nice turn from James.
Yeah.
He's on side as well.
That was poor, man. Good ball from Reece James into the box. Mazraoui and Lindelof nowhere to be seen.
How the hell do you not mark Cucurella on that?
Not good enough,
bro.
That's just bad defending.
I'll jump you.
Garnacho got spun like a Beyblade. Garnacho got spun like a Beyblade. I'm hoping the Chelsea board and the owners, I like the audition that Garnacho gives at Stamford Bridge, potentially his new club come next season.
Look at his egghead right here, bro.
Bro, the Italian Pep Guardiola.
He needs to leave, bro. I'm not convinced.
The Italian Pep Guardiola, man.
Bro, just destroy my season, man. Honestly,
I just hope end of the season this is breaking news. Enzo Maresca parted ways with Chelsea.
If he gets Champions League football and he wins that Conference League, you know he's not getting sacked, man.
Bro,
you know he's not getting sacked.
They're gonna extend his contract after that.
He's already has 5 years. He's not going anywhere, man.
He's gonna have like a player type Chelsea contract, bro. 10 plus years.
No, but I mean that goal. I mean, again, awful. And right now, with Premier League game,
evil Saka, bro.
What's Maguire doing, man? We're not thinking Man United, yeah. Again, but then again, this is what Man United. This is what our players have done all season, and what we always do. We always make scrubs look world class, bro. And we're letting Noni Madueke look like Monaco Kylian Mbappe on the left hand side. We're making him look like left wing Kylian Mbappe. That's what we're making him look like, and it's so annoying.
You don't rate Madueke, but you rate Sancho. How does that work?
Huh?
You don't rate Madueke, but you rate Sancho.
They're two very different players. And everyone judges players a bit differently. Raw,
and he offers more than Sancho, in my opinion.
For Chelsea, if we're talking about technical ability and footballing IQ, absolutely not. However, output, yeah, you can make the argument. Because Madueke, because naturally, just again, player profile. Madueke is a winger who's best when he's cutting inside and he's able to, and he takes lots of shots on goal. That's his thing. Sancho is a pass first player. He's a facilitator. He and Grealish, I say it all the time. They're like your number 10s who have been forced to play out wide because the freedom that they need, that they should be given to play, to let them play their game. Has been or gets taken away from them. So
first time all season we're fourth
now.
So yeah, they're two very different players. I think Sancho's definitely Sancho's a way better footballer than Madueke. It's not even a question. However, in regards to who's more effective for what Chelsea need right now with goals, yeah, you could say Madueke is probably more likely to score you a goal more than Sancho because of the kind of footballer and player profile that he is. Sancho's first instinct is to pass, is to create. Madueke's first natural instinct is to try and cut inside and shoot, or to get shots off on goal. So, breaking it down, it depends, apply context. But if we're talking about just pure footballing ability, not hoping Nels transfer. But yeah, Madueke is probably is more likely to get you a goal because of his, he is more selfish than the likes of a Sancho. So no, in that sense, I agree with you.
And speaking
not
of
that he's a better player.
There's Sancho with a New York Yankees hat.
Sancho there. Camera panning to Sancho. And wait, is that Nkunku there as well?
Yeah, your target.
Yep.
Told these guys about Nkunku
this
as well.
Ice necklace, bro.
Told man about flipping Nkunku, bro. Just yeah, that guy.
Oh!
Hey,
Pedro Neto with the skills, bro.
Oh shit.
That was brilliant from Neto, man. That was brilliant from Neto, man.
My goodness.
Dorgu done the Garnacho, man. Dorgu just done the Garnacho. Spun like a spinning top, man. Spun like a Beyblade from Neto, man, honestly. But no, Madueke's had a really good performance, man. He's had a very good performance. Again, I give credit where credit's due. He's had a good performance today.
Oh, good ball. Decent ball. Let's see if Garnacho...
Oh!
Was that a foul?
Get up, man. No,
get up, man.
And I remember someone was certain conversations were being had about Garnacho's just athleticism or just strength. Yeah, bounced off, not even pushed off, bounced off. This guy's so flipping. This guy is Garnacho. Yeah, literally, has the strength of a twig.
It's a toy.
Snapped. This guy doesn't offer anything. You know what's funny? We brought the person we did off the bench, and almost immediately we conceded that goal.
No, we did.
We brought Garnacho
a minute after the first game on.
And Ugarte on took Casemiro off, took Mount off, who did the square root of fuck all anyways. We took them off.
And look at that. Højlund gives the ball away up top.
Yeah, giving the ball away again. And again, we can't even string together more than like 2-3 passes, man. It's poor, man. Yeah, but I mean, for the goal, I mean, can't blame Onana on that on the goal, man. Can't really blame him from that. No chance with the goal. Seeing how literally a point blank range header from a Cucurella, but it's just this. I mean, for me, this game genuinely pisses me off in the sense that if Amorim had played a heavily rotated side. Mostly lead players, mostly like second string players and all of that, I wouldn't be as annoyed. But Amorim's chosen to go with, arguably his strongest team. He's chosen to do that. To which anyone would naturally interpret.
What a shot! Good save from Sanchez.
Good shot from Ahmad, man. But anyone would normally think, okay,
you're ahead of me.
Looking at the team that he's going with. That he cares about the game, that he wants to win this game. And again, those changes he made, just I don't even know what to say at this point. Almost at 80 minutes, by the way. Ousmane from my if that's what you were going to ask.
Ooh, question: who's the better Sanchez or Sancho?
That's just the most cringe thing I've ever heard in my life, man. That's thorough. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Just for crap and giggles, bro.
Bro, no. That's not even shit. Bro, that's not. Oh, Jesus, man. That's not even shits and giggles, man. That's just.
Bull crap.
No. Yeah. Yeah. For the own sake of my own mental health, I'm not.
Offsides.
Offside. Mazara's offside.
Just again, really, apart from, I'm not sure, I can't even just remember, straight off the top of my head, when the last, decent shot on goal that we even had.
Lavia. Okay.
Romeo Lavia, the kid who rejected Liverpool to go to Chelsea. And evil soccer.
Honestly, yeah. Romeo Lavia, for me, is similar to Reece James at Total Fitness because his quality is undeniable. Him and Caicedo, for me, our footballing ability are two of the best midfielders in the league. Like easily, comfortably. That midfield of honestly, you know what?
Bruno and Shaw are off.
Bruno off.
Heaven.
Off.
Heaven, bro.
That's who should have been playing most of these games.
I won't be surprised.
After the injury, after he got injured,
Evan and
I don't know what he's done to. For me, seeing the amount, that how little Kobe's been playing. For me, it concerns me. For me, it concerns me. But this has been most of the season, though. Like this manager, for me, he's making it very clear that he doesn't see Kobe or doesn't really rate Kobe Mainoo as highly as us. But he really hasn't even the time where he's played him in the double pivot. Even though he said himself that hey, Kobe's been struggling in the double pivot. Maybe not why I was thinking maybe giving him a bit more freedom, going forward could be of help in the number 10 position, which that's where he's been at his best. But what's he done? Yeah, he's just put him straight back into the double pivot again alongside Ugarte, which that when he was playing that double pivot for a while, that's where arguably our biggest problems were. You're getting, dominated in that midfield. So,
shit.
You know what I'd like to see from Chelsea? Just, what I'd like to see. Which, I'm not sure if Chelsea have done it. I mean, Ousmane, you'll know better than me, but I mean,
what?
Or just, just at some point, just because I'm just purely interested to see, I'd love to see Maresca try Cole Palmer back on the right-hand side and have a midfield of Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo. Because I think that's your most balanced midfield three.
Now, of course,
that's a fairly balanced midfield.
No,
that's a Champions League winning midfield next season.
None of that, bro.
Oh wait,
goal kick.
Come on. But yeah, again, just Man United again, just poor. Very, it's very, 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 it's really, really not great, man. But yeah, I'm not impressed in the slightest. And this manager, in the way he's been picking his in his team selections to start matches, his substitutions on many occasions, it's definitely worrying. It's definitely very, very, very worrying. But because of my criticism, because I bring light to the many red flags, it's just also you're hammering him out.
Chelsea's high pressing, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like we struggle. We can't string together. We can't string 3 Plymouth Masters together. We struggle. And I say all the time, Kobe's not a double pivot player. And I've had to have the argument so many times. So it's like, yes, he is. Just no, not even 30 seconds ago is literally the perfect piece of evidence you can see. Kobe, what about I've been saying about him? What's Kobe's first instincts? To turn, to dribble, to try and do intricate passing combinations. Yeah. When he tried, guess what? In the double pivot, immediately got dispossessed, caught on the ball because he's not comfortable there. That's not his position. Let Kobe play. Let him attack. Let Kobe Mainu be creative. Ten Hag gave Kobe, the freedom to pretty much do whatever.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe. No other at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, there's Radcliffe, Barada, and
Jason Wilcox.
But I mean, it was Barada's decision, really, to have the power play. And look, on the first major appointment, you can get things wrong, but I mean, it was really his decision, to go and get Ruben Amorim. Oh my, and there it is with Kobe again. He nearly got dispossessed again. In that, again.
He came from a mile away, too.
Man's trying to play in the 6, and he's not on number 6. How many times have the pair of you and everyone who's been or is here, him and Cole Palmer are number 10s. They need freedom to see the best of them. To see the best of their attacking football, man. But yeah, we're clearly not seeing it. This manager hasn't given Kobe the freedom, man. At least with Ten Hag, as much as I can't stand that guy. One thing I won't, especially for Kobe's breakthrough season. Really, because you were so rubbish, he just said, you've been playing well. Yeah, I may as well. That's why I got nothing to lose. Yeah, I gave him the freedom the license to go about wherever. And this season, it's just been nice. Yeah, he's just taken away that freedom, and I don't know why. And then the whole myth, he's a number 6, he's a defensive midfielder, he's a box-to-box midfielder. It's crazy, man. But still 1-0 as of right now. Ousmane, are you confident that you think Chelsea will hold out to get the 3 points?
It's looking likely. You guys can hear me. I said it's looking likely. Maybe.
I told Ousmane this, that Chelsea will win these last 2 games and they'll qualify for the Champions League.
And I said it before.
Because their last game, they're going to Forest, right? Or are they hosting Forest?
Yeah. Forest, Nottingham Forest, yeah.
That will be the
just they literally threw away their Champions League place.
Yeah, they choked.
Because I think everybody thought that they were going to get Champions League football. But they bolted it, man. They threw it away.
That was back in February.
They pulled an Arsenal, bro.
They threw away their Champions League place. So I mean, it's I don't know, man, but yeah, Man United seemingly likely to lose another Premier League game. Which nothing new for me. I know it will be new. Will probably be, I don't know, just the number of unread messages that I'll get saying that I'm too toxic and negative, and that I need to be positive and just back the manager, back these players, just
bro, you're basically
back everything.
Basically another troops, bro.
Okay. Firstly, I'm gonna make this very clear on my channel. Drew has this thing, where he says certain things, on podcast offsets and all that, and he likes to say certain things that he knows, winds me up, and that annoys me. But being the genuine host that I am, I'll say it's very clear, especially for someone, as widely known as troops, for someone who has supported and been going to Arsenal games, word to troops, having been going to games since 1991, and having been a season ticket member since 1996, but started going to games actively, consistently, week in, week out, starting in 1991. And it is currently 2025. So, looking at, the amount of years, he's been going to Arsenal games week in, week out, you could say it's around 30-ish years. I don't think that's a fake fan. I don't think that's a fake fan to me. I don't think that's a fake fan to anybody. But, however, because in his reactions, when the performances are absolutely awful, and he gets annoyed, and he lets his feelings be heard, and he might yell, he might get angry, he might call, players are two absolute scrubs and dickheads and all of that. Apparently it's like, oh, it's just reviews, you're not really a fan. Which I think is beyond shocking. But then again, I sympathize with that so much because I also get that same treatment so much, a lot of times. Some of my mates, some of my other mates as well have been, given similar slander as well. So I mean, I just need to come straight away and say, yeah, I'm not having anybody say, oh, you're toxic and negative and all that, just because the things that you're angry about and raging about, say, oh, they're illogical, oh, they're unreasonable. No, I think, things that has got Ben annoyed about with Arsenal this season has been very reasonable. 5 years of Arteta and still no trophies. Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off too, seeing the amount of money he spent and the amount of backing he's been given. Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off too. I'd probably be raging as well. So yeah, as analytically and as calmly and with a level head as possible, which I've done a very good job so far. Yeah, you can sit there and you can hold that agenda and fucking do one with it. So yeah, that's all to say. But yeah, now into added time, Chelsea's still up by a goal to nil. It doesn't seem like Man United could can't seem to even flip in, create any chances really. With the attack that we another giveaway from these slot, man. Like, this is under position. Literally, what have I just said? Like, not even 5-7 minutes ago. This team can't string minimum three passes together, man. It's poor in possession. It's awful. And this is why, yeah, I look at this manager and I say, you've been here since November. You don't have to come here. You don't have to necessarily come here. There's nothing pointed to your head and said, you must sign that contract. You must come to Man United. All you were told is, you either leave Sporting now and join the club now, or you stay at Sporting and we look at other targets. Which is the way, yeah, that a club with any sort of big club mentality, when acting like a big club, that's the way you're supposed to act. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing. But no, he's protected all the time. Where he should be defended, fair enough. However, in areas where he rightfully deserves criticism, he should be criticized. But he doesn't. So it's mad to me. But and again, same with these players. Yeah, that's a nasty challenge by Heaven there, into Malagusto, man. That's a really dangerous challenge, man. I'd say.
That was studs up too. This should probably go to VAR.
Yeah, if he doesn't get sent off for that, he's very lucky to be on the pitch if he somehow survives this. But
Ousmane, where you at? You disappeared, bro.
I'll worry back in a moment, but yeah, awful. Yeah, it's another poor performance, man. Very, very poor performance, man. And again, even though the goals don't reflect it, for me, this is one of our worst performances of the season. One of our worst performances, and this is why I say, judge football on the eye test, not the stats. Watch the full 90 minutes, and then it will be very, very difficult for me, if you really do watch the match for 90 minutes, it will be very, very, very difficult for me to question the vast majority of the opinions that you have in being credible or not. So, but yeah, that's just his performances are just it's past the point of just rage. It's just depressing at this point. it's been so depressing. And if we don't win that Europa League, yeah, that will be the last game of the season where, cookings and sacrificings, will be in order. I will tell all the viewers and every single person that looks at this.
If we lose,
I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now.
And then we're gonna go.
Everybody's getting smoked. Everyone's getting smoked.
3-0, and then everyone's gonna be gone by halftime, bro. Everyone. And then there's probably going to be 4 or 5 more goals scored on us. It'll probably be 8-0 thrashing against Aston Villa, bro.
Wait, what?
If we lose the Europa League final against Tottenham, bro,
okay,
this is what's going to happen. We're going to go into our final season or our final game of the season against Aston Villa Old Trafford. Aston Villa is going to go up 3-0 at halftime. Then a majority, I'd say 80% of Old Trafford is going to leave after that.
I'd say I don't think the Europa League final is going to judge. I think regardless of how it ends up playing out, I don't think these players are going to care about that game, regardless if they win or lose.
And if they don't care,
none of them will care. None of them care. None of them are going to care. They see that Europa League final as their last game of the season,
as a free payday, bro. All you have to do is just show up and then just play for no reason.
Yeah, just collecting the wages, man. And honestly, if I were a player at that point, especially if we lose that Europa League final, I doubt the percent. Yeah, I'd feel like I wouldn't really care either because it's a meaningless game. At least if you win Europa League, you could say, okay, maybe here's a chance to at least end the season, on a win. Something. At least end it with the 3 points. But yeah, man, another poor performance, man. For me, this is one of the worst performances of the season. The scoreline doesn't reflect it, but watching this Man United performance for 90 minutes, the way this manager set out, it's not good. Oh, Garnacho, no way Ugarte scores. No way we scored. No. Yeah, no.
Oh, here we go. Cole Palmer.
I love hit a barn door.
No penalty. No penalty.
But yeah, it's past the 7 minutes of added time.
We're just gonna blow the whistle any moment now.
Surely any time now, the referee will blow the whistle. Ousmane, I think you're on mute, bro.
I was saying probably gonna be one last out.
What is it?
One last out.
Maguire's up top, playing striker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just.
Whoa! There's a.
Wait,
streaker.
what's just? Wait, yeah, what's just
streaker on the field, bro? Why?
This is such a this is such
utter woke nonsense.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Drew, Drew, if you say that again, I'm temporarily removing you from the stream. But I need to at least keep, the last bits of mental health brain cells that I have. I'm clinging on to the last bit.
These fans have lost their heads, bro. Oh my goodness.
What the fuck? The fact that it was crazy.
And of course,
Oh, that's it.
After this, we'll do fan cams. We'll do match reactions. Which
Garnacho's gonna run it in, and that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I'll tell. Yeah. For each of you, whoever's going to go first, I'll just temporarily remove.
I'll go
the
first
other from.
I gotta pick up game.
All right, for sure.
I gotta pick up game. Game I paid for.
All right, for sure.
$10.
Sure. All right, match is done. Match is done now. Chelsea have won this game. Big 3 points for Chelsea to clinch Champions League football, and for Manchester United, it's another Premier League loss for them, even though it's by the odd goal, but still not enough to at least get a point. And yeah, we will at this very point in the stream now, the live stream,
Bro, Arsenal might
the
fuck
live
up
stream is
second, bro.
over, and we will now transition. At this very point, we will now transition into.
You guys, Arsenal might fuck up second.
Oh, really? Wait, why?
Because there's only there's only 2 points.
Oh.
Fourth and second. And then
Good point.
Newcastle in it.
Oh shoot, yeah, that's a good point. But anyways, the last thing in the Watchalong portion is done, and we will now be transitioning into our individual fan counts. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna temporarily remove Drew. Drew, I'm putting you backstage. All right, cool. Anyways, that was mad. And that was horrible to watch. Absolutely horrid to watch. Genuinely. Anyways, hello and welcome to Premier League Prime Time. We are here for first Ousmane match reaction. You predicted a draw.
I said a draw.
But like I said, this Man United team is absolutely awful, and any half decent, in any even 70% of intensity and work rate, and you'll win. But as a scoreline, Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0. Marco Correa's header. I think just in and around, or just after the midway point in the second half, after the substitutions, being the difference maker. Initial general thoughts on the game.
Both sides were shit. Excuse my French. Both sides, because someone said in halftime. Someone said that Chelsea were like they had nothing to play for. Because they looked like as if like they didn't want to play Champions League next season. But Cucurella, you know how I feel about him. Okay, he had a decent game. Palmer's been quiet.
Another goal from Cucurella, man.
Madueke, if he just finishes his touch, he's still raw potential. Tyreek George, Evil Saka, he did his thing today, replacing Jackson. Neto, mid, quick, pack, quick and run. Just kick and run, yeah. And then who else? Sanchez, a couple hard attacks. Reece James, he didn't really have nothing to do. Overall, Caicedo, man of the match for me, because he was all over the place. Because literally, he was the only one that was
Any honorable mentions? Of anyone else you thought, maybe not for man of the match, but any other standout performances?
If we don't go off result,
for Chelsea, on the Chelsea side of things, any other just
and then I would say Caicedo only Caicedo, because Palmer didn't do anything in my opinion. He touched the ball a few times,
and Cole Palmer,
but Caicedo was man of the match, and then.
One thing I will say, that you just said there, that's very unlike the Ousmane that I know, championing players for work rate, and very unlike Ousmane, but nonetheless very.
He's only 19. He's only months.
Of course, with his circumstances, and I'd say and I know you're very very critical of the sporting directors, and the fact how Tyreek George is not only just the next best option, but the next option off the bench
he's
solution to play up front.
So it's it's
to be the next best option solution up front. It's crazy, man. But on Cole Palmer, because I wanted to ask about Cole Palmer. Similarly in a way, and obviously not as much because he has much more credit in the bank than someone like Sancho does, but in a similar way, had a brilliant first half of the season, obviously he was,
Look,
yes,
what is
yes,
the
he was
director
way better than Sancho, but
on the
he's
field? That dickhead, man.
he's at a drop off Cole Palmer, man. Is
Of
it
course, because he knows the
alarming?
system. But you see that hug? You see that hug? You see that hug that they're giving each other? They got something going on in the bedroom game.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen a sport director grab another man like that, bro.
Okay, that's mad. Is just overall. Do you have to say, yeah? As much as we can blame Maresca at certain times. Do you feel like with some certain performances, whether it's just not finishing your chances, missing golden opportunities to put the ball into the back of the net, to a certain extent, do you have to say Cole Palmer does have to take some of the blame?
No, I mean Palmer. Palmer has been restricted. It's been more rigged with Maresca because I remember with Pochettino, as you said earlier in the stream, that he was playing on the right. He would cut inside, and he would have that freedom, the number 10. Now he's more central with Cucurella inverting now, so it's like he has Madueke and Neto on the wing, and plus I'd say anybody knows, especially in the beginning of the season, you shut out Palmer, you shut out Chelsea's creativity, unless like Jackson. And also someone also said that without Jackson there's no Palmer because he needs somebody to link up the ball for him, somebody who's going to drop deep. So
but one thing that I was trying to say is that yeah, I totally hear that, but for instance, such as just not being clinical enough in front of goal, to a certain point, you could absolutely blame Maresca, but Maresca's also not the one, he's not the one. You can't go onto the pitch and manually move Palmer's legs.
The thing is with Maresca and all these other Pep disciples, right? It's all about positional play. It's all about they want you to be like a FIFA game, like FIFA 25 or FIFA 50. You have to know where to move, because me personally, I'm not an academy. I'm just giving you a little bit of context, right? There's a difference between a guy like me who's been playing street ball versus a guy who's played in an academy or who's played in college. Me, I'm used to chaos. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody to tell me where to move. Wherever the ball is going, I'm going. Yeah. Versus an academy guy, it's already drilled into his head, or he's basically, whether he plays a pickup, whether it's already, he already knows where to move. Positional play. He's been exposed like that for years. It's been tailored in his head. So, I'm just giving you the context, right? All of that is probably down to the manager, because this is not the Palmer that we've seen last year. The Palmer last year was free and expressing himself, But then this year is since everybody want to copy Pep. Like I said earlier in the chat, everybody want to copy Pep. That possession, XG. Oh, look at the stats. Oh, 0. something take-ons. Oh, 0.75 XG. I'm like, you think I give an F, bro? You think I give an F?
Exactly. The which is, yeah, and it makes me think, yeah, you hear fans say that, but then when there's a player at your club who's literally almost the epitome of that, it's just not, even though the other attackers, have been just as bad, or if not, offer even less, No,
I mean, we can clearly see this season, we can clearly see that, because last season, okay, it was their first seasons, all of them together, if you really think about it, all of them. Because, Jackson came that summer, and Kuku came that summer. Mudryk had this first full year, Madueke winter. So Palmer first season. They all looked better, much better last season attack-wise, better than this season. I always told you this. I always said this in our conversations. They look like they're not playing for him. They're not buying into his methods. Probably now because maybe, okay, they want to get Champions League or whatever it is.
I was going to say, I think they're so-called, playing. I mean, for those who want to make the argument whether, they like Maresca or not, they are going to be playing for him, but not necessarily for him, but for Champions League football.
So, of course, because you cannot tell me, right? All right, I'm not trying to get off topic a little bit, because mind you, beginning of the season we were free flowing. The first half of the season, this when this whole title race talk came. You heard it from me first. I said we are not in the title race. It's way too early.
That was one of them. Yeah, on the other podcasts that we're on. Just for those who don't know,
I'm the first one that told you that said we are not in the title race.
Chelsea fans too. I mean, not just Ousmane, a lot. There were good odds.
We're not.
Say, the the title race talk should.
We're not Arsenal fans.
Absolutely not.
We're not Arsenal fans. We don't win the league in August. Realistically, we win the league in the last 6 weeks of the season. That's where you know where the fuck you're gonna be. Excuse my French. But in the beginning, it was free flowing. Everybody, at one point, like I said earlier in the chat, we had the best attack in the league. Everybody was praising us.
The depth that they had too. There was so much depth. And then in January,
and then guess what?
The sporting directors went ahead and got rid of
a couple of men out. Take a couple of guys out on top of injuries. Bare bones.
But the one thing I will say,
with everybody progressing, we went from 2nd to 7th. Now holding on to 4th. This year, maybe I might agree with Drew because Drew said at one point, this is probably one of the worst years because the fact that from 1st to 2nd, the gap is this wide. Like literally, 2nd to 7th is this close, like 4 points. Anything can go down next week, bro.
And I think that, especially this season, it's a huge damning reflection on the quality of the league. Like the teams like the Bournemouths of this world, the Bournemouths, and even the Brightons, even though they've been doing it now for the past 2 seasons, but Brentfords and Fulhams, how they're in European shots, how they're pushing for sevenths, and even Nottingham Forest pushing for Champions League as well. I mean, I think that's a damning reflection on such a huge decline in this overall quality across the league. But there was one thing I did want to ask you. As you were saying, you were crediting the Chelsea attack in regards to how free flowing they were looking, how well they were performing, and all that. As big of a critic as you are on the manager, would it also be somewhat fair to also give him his praises for during that first half of the season when we're complimenting how well they were looking and the fact how the title race talk was even being talked about because of how good they were? Is that a place where the manager should at least be given his fair due credit? Not a huge amount of credit.
Davis, right? Davis, the thing is when it comes to that thing, right? Because I look at it like this.
You see someone like them the
last season, but in reverse. I've said this many times. Last season, we went from 12th, 10th, 11th at one point to 6th.
Very underwhelming. Like 16s.
Yeah, and then Pochettino leaves. And then the same momentum was going because we kind of seen the same, a little bit of the same, of Pochettino's team. Inverting Cucurella because literally it took the Villa game to invert him, and then that's when Chelsea went on this big run, and obviously with guys like Lavia back and all those guys back, even I remember back in October we were saying that Lavia and Caicedo is better balanced than Enzo, and Enzo and the double pivot of Enzo and Caicedo. So. It wasn't really like a drastic. It was just you just finished where you left off, and then and where many Chelsea fans will say.
Anyways, you got on for a minute.
Sorry, it's just many people. But also like as I was saying, right. Also another one of those things where it's like how can I say this? Many Chelsea fans will say like with Maresca is like, even me myself, it will say the same thing. They'll say something about, if plan A works, there's no plan B, and people go down to his experience, and it's like, all right, if it's one of those, okay, if we do get Champions League, because all right, like I said, I feel like this season is one of those where we're lucky because it's like, how can I say this? We've basically been gifted 5th place. It's been a gift. We've been gifted 5th place because of unusual circumstances, basically. Just as how unusual circumstances, United got Europa League. They're in the final. Last year, they didn't finish nowhere in Europe. I don't even think they finished Conference League, did they?
Who? Chelsea.
United.
No, if you haven't won the FA Cup, yeah, no, I think we finished 8th.
So 8th doesn't get conference. It's
Oh, wait,
6th.
oh, wait,
7th
oh, wait,
gets
oh, yeah.
Conference League.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
Because,
Oh, wait, did we finish 7th? I don't know.
yeah, but then just because you guys won at Wembley, automatically Europa League.
I just want to make sure I get my my facts right. Where we we finished 8th, and we were 8th, or we ended May in 8th.
Hold on, Davis.
And it looks like that we're going to end this current season almost double the league positions below, in 14th, 15th, 16th, and very serious possibility of it could be 17th as well. But before, when Ousmane gets back, we'll do the player ratings for Chelsea before he has to go. But on the Chelsea side of things, do I think they'll get Champions League football? I think so. As long as they take care of business against Nottingham Forest, I think that will be fine. I think
Davis, you were saying. I'm gonna say the last few things and I gotta go. But you were saying, Davis.
William, what I was going to say is, the last section I wanted to do with you really quickly. I want to do a player ratings section. For those who don't know, we do our player ratings. We always have it from a 0 to 10. Yes, if you need to give zeros, you could be zeros. And I always ask, you could be as unfiltered as you want when it comes to player ratings. So just to get started, Robert Sanchez in goal. 5 being average. 5 or 6 being average. Okay. Left back, or no, I'll start with the right backs actually. Reece James, who did he complete 90 minutes?
7. I mean, he played it pretty solid. This is the first time in 90 minutes I actually seen him finish.
It's felt like years since we've seen that. Into the center backs, we'll go with we'll start with Tosin Adarabioyo.
6.
Levi Colwill.
6.
And a really quick call, is he like a lot of Chelsea's fan base they say he's a John Terry regen. Do you agree with that?
Mid.
Left back Cucurella with the goal.
I mean, he if he didn't get the goal, it would have been 6. But since he got the goal, 9.
I mean, even without the goal, I think his performance, I think was very good. He was causing a lot of problems for Man United going forward. He was trying to put crosses into the box. He was doing a good job. Into the midfield, we'll start with Enzo.
7.
Okay.
He played all right.
Caicedo.
Caicedo.
Mm-hmm.
If Cucurella didn't score, man of the match, 9.
Okay. Into the attacking trio, Pedro Neto on the right-hand side.
7. I mean, yeah, he created chances here and there, but kick and run, so 7. I mean, he did play a point.
Noni Madueke on the left-hand side.
If his end product, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was taking on man. He was dancing around with Mazraoui, so 7.
Mazraoui got fried now.
Yeah.
In the 10, Cole.
Wait, what did I say for Reece James?
Actually, wait. Yeah, now you bring it up. What would you give? I think you gave him a 7. I think.
I gave him a 7.
I think.
I'm a fucking dumbass.
Like 9. My short-term memory. 9. Okay.
He turned Garnacho. Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh yeah.
Assist.
You know what? Yeah. No. If you want to ask me, bro, I'll give him a 10 just for that. I give him a 10 just for that alone. But Cole Palmer in the number 10 position.
Quiet 6.
I'd probably say more than that, but fair enough. And Tarek George up front as in the number 9.
7. He was pretty okay.
Okay.
It's pretty okay.
Substitutions off the bench for Chelsea. I mean, if they had more time, I'm just gonna go ahead and give them standard 5s because they didn't really have enough time to really impact to do anything really of note. Although for the bits I saw of Lavia again on the ball, this guy is
7. He was only there for like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, this guy's just so good on the ball, man. He's technically so
Chelsea,
good.
people say Chelsea if they get any better, people say Chelsea have like the best midfield tree. Well, that's what the media says. I don't know about, because if Lavia stays fit and it would
Caicedo as a midfield pivot, yeah, for me straight away, I'd say as a pivot, I'd say that's you could say maybe only Liverpool could maybe have a shout. You could say is better.
No, I mean if City gets, because I hear they're linked to Wirtz and to Johnny. So
Man City's midfield's been rubbish this season.
No, because it's not, bro. Dave, me and you been watching this game for years, bro. It's not Rodri, bro. It's the old guard.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is,
yeah.
Dave. But
it affects
that midfield, right? That midfield, right? Of Goodwan and who else?
Coaches are right, but like playing Bernardo and Gundogan,
they're past it.
With Kovacic,
because bro, you already have Mateo Nunez and Kovacic.
He's playing as right back. Pep plays him as a right back. Yeah. Mateus Nunes, yeah. He plays him as a right back because Pep.
And then they have this guy Kusanov and who else? Kusanov.
Vitor Reis, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
And
Nico Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez came, right?
I think he's been okay, but I think he was a lot of money. But I think he's been 60, right?
Nico Gonzalez came or no?
I think you're around 50, I think, but a lot of money. I don't think he might have been great for Porto, but I mean, I don't think he's been that amazing. But then again,
no, they wanted to look for when they needed an emergency Rodri. The only person that's probably had an impact was Marmouche.
Yeah, but I think the transition back to the topic you saying that pivot of Caicedo and Lavia pivot. I'd say the only side in the Premier League that anyone can make an argument for, in my opinion, that that I could say is a better midfield pivot would be Liverpool in Gravenberch.
No, but these Arsenal fans say about Declan Rice and Partey.
Yeah, no, that's why. Yeah, that's why I said only Liverpool. No, but lastly, the manager, your boy Enzo Maresca. What are you giving him for this game?
6. Because he didn't really make no impact sub. It was boring. Like it was just boring. It was boring. I mean, me personally, I always said the players aren't playing for him, but just because it's Champions League, bro, that's all gonna most likely is gonna be all of them is gonna be their first year in the Champions League. Bar from a few individuals like Reece James. Bro, Reece James is basically Unk. He's telling these guys when he was playing against Vinny Jr. Bro, no, Reece James is Unk. None of these MFers know about Champions League. Bro,
you're not wrong. I said Reece James is Unk. I'm dead.
Bro, because literally this Reece James, bro, he was going against Vinny. He was getting balanced. He locked down Vinny. He locked down who else? That Juventus game, the Milan game, he's basically getting.
He got coached by Rodrigo. Your boy really? Rodrigo.
Oh, Bengali? He didn't give no damn Bengali. Damn, bro. Nah, Reece James is Unk, so this would be like, it wouldn't be like, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, but a lot of them will be their first rodeo.
And I know you have to go in. And last question before you go. Will Chelsea get Champions League football for next season?
I mean, it's very close because how can I say this? It's very close because it's like how can I say this?
Yeah,
anything can happen next week. Anything can happen next week.
Yeah, but just early predictions. Do you think Chelsea will secure Champions League football for next season with one game left?
Can I look at the table real quick?
Yeah, sure. I think it's still the same, right? I think Chelsea are still in 5th regardless. No, they're in 4th. Chelsea are currently in 4th.
Yeah, but still, you can still be 4th.
Man City are in 6th. Oh wait. Oh no, never mind. Yeah. Oh wait, never mind.
Because look, a lot of people got a game in hand.
Everyone else wants to play. everyone else supposed to play. I don't know
Arsenal
who
have a
everyone
game
else
in
plays.
hand. Newcastle got a game in hand.
Yeah. They play Fulham.
Man City have a game in hand.
Oh wait. Oh, we know they play. Oh no, they play Bournemouth at home. Okay. But yeah.
And then Nottingham Forest have a game in hand
Good
too.
prediction. Will they get Champions League football next season, Chelsea? Are you saying yes? Do you think they'll get over the line, or do you think they'll bottle it? We need to hear it.
Who they play next? Nottingham?
Yeah, Chelsea play Forest.
I look at it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If City draw, because they have a game in hand, if City draw and Nottingham win, it's gonna be between City's gonna Nottingham is gonna, and who's Aston Villa play next? United.
Yeah, which is guaranteed win, more or less.
So 3 points. So who do Newcastle play?
Newcastle plays this weekend. They play. Let me see. Arsenal. Honestly,
Let me look at.
I think Newcastle's going to win. Because Arsenal struggle against teams like Newcastle, man. No, I think they'll win.
Game week 37, right? Is it 37 for all of them, right?
Yeah, we're in game week. A match day 37. But yeah, for this weekend, Arsenal play Newcastle, man. Hey, that could be a really good game.
Okay, so I look at it like this. Hold on, let me load this up.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it like this, right? So the first 2 games, Aston Villa, because they went to,
Mm-hmm.
and then Leicester. Okay, so Newcastle and Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
If Newcastle win, they get second. If Arsenal win, they stay in second. Or if it's a draw, but then, right? And then who else? Who does City play? City play Bournemouth. Bournemouth are 10th right now, so they got nothing to play for.
Mm-hmm.
If City draw or if they lose, they're staying in 6th.
Mm-hmm. But one thing, I think, just as long as Chelsea win against Forest, they get Champions League football. I think regardless. I don't think it matters. I think as long as they
all goes down on the final day at 11 o'clock.
And that, again, coming back around the question, just will Chelsea beat Nottingham Forest and in turn be able to get over the line and play in the Champions League next year? Yes or no? We need to hear, we need to know. What do you think?
It's tough. I don't think so. Because Nottingham Forest, they're gonna at least they're at least gonna fight for Europa League. They're gonna want Europa League.
So
look at the circumstance.
You're going with no. Okay.
Look at the circumstance, right? It's more closer between 2nd and 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen next week, or in the next 2 days, bro. What if City draw tomorrow?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, and also keep in mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
United, European final. Tottenham in the European final. Crystal Palace go against Man City in the FA Cup. So what if Crystal Palace win?
Oh yeah, this weekend,
Conference League.
right?
If we win,
or was that next weekend? Oh, okay. Is that
if
this
we win Conference League, we get Europa League or whatever it is. Hopefully,
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
At worst, you get Europa League. Assuming you win the
conference. If we lose or if we draw, somebody can leap over us.
Mm-hmm. Now,
because then it's Newcastle. Newcastle's gonna want to take second. Arsenal, they play Southampton, so obviously that's basically right there. Who else? Man City play Fulham.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Man City's gonna get into Champions League, that's for sure. Man United, Aston Villa. Aston Villa is gonna go through, so that's like 3 points right there. That's like,
yeah.
and then so I look at it. If we draw Nottingham, and City win. If City win tomorrow and we draw Nottingham, we're not in UCL competition. Or if Aston Villa, where's Aston Villa? If Aston Villa beat United, right?
Well,
they're going to leave progress.
I would say, I know I say all the time, don't be so certain about, it's, don't automatically assume, but for this one, we're going to say when they beat Man United. because it's not that difficult to play against Man United. But
No, I mean United got all their eggs in one basket for
Mhm.
Thursday.
regardless of how that match ends, whether we win that final or lose that final, these players will not care about their last game against Villa, really, because
It's tough to call. I'm gonna go with maybe.
No, I can't be really not calling you maybe, bro. We can't have maybe, man.
No, because Davis, I look at
It's
it
an early
like this.
prediction. It's just an early prediction. Early prediction. If you're wrong, you're wrong. It's fine. Early prediction.
We're not gonna get Champions League. We're not gonna get Champions League.
And any closing thoughts before you head out? Because I know you have to head out.
Maresca out, bro. I'm not. This season is one of those, bro. I'm not out of domestic competitions, bro. Enjoy the season, man. Bro, in fact, at least my other team won't let me down. You get me? My other team won't let me down. We play Inter, so imagine a crash out if Chelsea lose Conference League and PSG lose Champions League final. The crash out is going to be real. The crash out is going to be real because Madrid already failed me too. Madrid failed me.
Before you go, any last thoughts? Anything you'd want to say on another? Anything on Barca before you leave? Because I know
of Arsenal. Nobody care about that club, man.
Know about Barca.
Man, that bankrupt club, bro. Nobody care about that bankrupt club. But also, I was going to ask you, Ray.
Okay.
You remember in the beginning of the season? No, in February.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was about 13 or so games left.
Mm-hmm.
Road to 40 points by Mr. Drew Brown. Road to 40 points.
No, that was me. I was the one that
said
road to 40 things. No, and I started back in I'd say after the Newcastle game in December. That's when I started the whole the whole road to 40 points. I started that. Do you take a lot of things that I've said and he said it his own?
Road to 40.
That's our guy. That's bro, but come on, we gotta be real.
Road to 40 points. We said that in February, and there was like 13 or so games left.
I don't think we'll make it to the end of that road.
Hold on. You're telling me, right? Out of 13 games, that's 39 points right there at the time. You guys had like 30 points or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me in 3 months,
this guy's lost more games than he's actually.
You only managed to get what? United was at what at that point? How many points were that at that point? Like 32?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't look into it.
7 points in 3 months. 7 points in 13 games.
Yeah. And yeah, but then everyone gives me all the abuse in the world when I don't outright.
That's suckable. I'm not gonna. That's a suckable offense. Even Potter. Did Potter even?
Graham Potter wasn't that bad. Graham Potter was not that bad.
Potter was terrible. Potter was terrible.
But he was not bringing Chelsea down into 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. He was not. He was not doing that.
No, I mean because we pulled the plug early.
No, but even when he was, it
was Tuchel. Because Tuchel managed to steady. Because look, if Potter had started in September, we would have been fucked. Because remember, going into the season, Tuchel had us at like 11 points, and then I think Potter, I think he won against Crystal Palace, and then he won a Wolves game. He drew United, and then who else? I don't know, cause
I don't even know, but
I think he won 2 or 3 or 4 games, bro.
I think so.
And then after the FA Cup against City, and then FA Cup against City.
Families wrote the ownership of letters to keep a certain manager, which was that gave Ineos all justification. Will be like, oh yeah, the fans wants to keep him, as well keep him. But anyways, I know you said out. And any last few thoughts before we wrap up your time?
Will United win Europa League? That's the question. Tottenham got fucked today. United got fucked today. So which one of the fucks? So the question is on Wednesday.
You know what? Yeah, I will answer that question.
Is dark humor? Hold on. Is dark humor? Will I get canceled for saying this? Will I get canceled?
Depending on what it is, but I mean, I'd go.
Who's getting fucked? Who's doing the fucking? Who's getting fucked on Wednesday?
That is crazy. I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah, but no, I will.
Sorry guys.
But yeah, that is a question I will answer after Drew's Sankam, and I will answer that question directly when I do my my individual assessment of this match. But there you have it. You've heard it from Ousmane. No, he says he won't get Champions League football, and his boy Maresco will not have it. And there he is from Ousmane. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0. And yeah, we will see you. We're gonna go with Drew next, and then we'll hear from me. But
Au revoir.
Anyways, Drew, you have returned. I have something. I know we've been on for a while, but Drew, you ready?
Sure.
All right. Well, all right. I had to go back from the list from top to bottom. Hello and welcome back to Premier League Primetime for those who are just joining us. The match is finished. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0. Here with Drew. Drew, if you're still here with us, or if you've fallen asleep, maybe like most of the fan base has done, which again, I don't blame any portion of this fan base, regardless of whether if you're top red or not, for falling asleep during that match, because that was a horrible a game of football to watch in general. But Chelsea 1, Man United 0. Man United lose again. Initial thoughts on the match in general?
Just absolutely atrocious, man. First half more or less okay, but second half, one of the worst second halves I've ever watched this season.
To dive deeper into this match in general, what do you think specifically, even though you could say 1,000,001, where do you think were the things that went wrong the most, or where do you think was the worst for us today? Or is it just same old problems like we've been seeing all season?
Just all around on the pitch, man. Up top, Højlund literally gave the ball away every single time. Could not hold up the ball to save his life. Yep. Midfield, midfield's just almost the same every single game. Do you want to know a very interesting statistic?
Any players in particular, because you're going into players, and that makes me think of a very caution, which is a very good thing that you're doing. Any players that besides Højlund you just mentioned, any players in particular that stood out as just being as poor?
Garnacho, when he came off the bench, he got cooked by Reece James, which led to the winning goal.
Anybody else, or was just everyone?
Bruno surprisingly did not perform well today. Mason Mount had the chances, couldn't even finish them.
That's your guy. That's your guy.
He is my guy, but he's got to be accountable.
This is a very different Drew that I'm seeing. Very different Drew that I'm seeing.
Dude, I love Mason Mount, but I cannot ignore the negatives from today.
But I mean, just will we pick up a point, any point at all for the remainder of the season?
I'm telling you, we're gonna get dog walked by Aston Villa at Old Trafford. It's gonna stay at 40. It's gonna be our worst season. It's gonna be our worst season. Our worst season.
Well, this is coming to be our worst season
since the 1930s, bro.
Years ago. Which
almost a century later, bro.
I'm glad some of the things that you're saying, again, maybe it's because with this other podcast that we're on, you've been in around me maybe a bit much. Which, hey, I don't know. If your footballing mind changes for the better, then cool. But I mean, hey, everyone has their own opinions. This is why I constantly say everyone's opinion is welcome, whether I like them, whether I don't necessarily see eye to eye with it all the time, or whether I just outright just don't rate it at all. All footballing fans and all footballing opinions are welcome. And we'll have to keep having to say this, and we'll keep having to remind people over and over and over again. So I'm going to make that crystal clear once again. It's trying to enter the fan count, but looking at the manager today, we're a bit surprised by the team selection because he went with quite a strong team. You could arguably say that was the best team he could probably field in regards to technically bar Kobe, which he is showing us he doesn't really rate. Even with a considerably strong 11. Did that surprise you at all? Given that we have a final in 5 days.
If I was the manager, I wouldn't even field the key players for this game. I would not have fielded Amad Diallo. I would not have fielded Bruno.
And because of that, does that surprise you that he has gone ahead and done that? But not just this game, many games, but this game in particular.
The thing is, Ruben has his reasons, man. Whether it's just to keep the players fit, whether it's to give him a test run for the final, because if that's our test run, then
I mean,
best of luck to them.
If this is to keep players fit, right? Why not? You think to yourself, if you're starting some of these guys to keep them fit for the final, even though most of these guys have been ran into the ground all season long, Amad has been literally rushed back from an injury to be be available for this competition. But the fact how he's playing Amad for so many minutes, running him into the ground again, done the same with Xerxes. Why De Ligt is out for the season. He was out for a while, brought him back, started him against Brentford in a needless game where he didn't need to. I don't know what Aiden Heaven's done since his injury, to not be able to. I don't think he started once under this manager since he's come back from the injury, not once. I mean, the team selection. I mean, what surprised you most about it from today?
He literally fielded his strongest 11 today, and we couldn't even get a goal.
And the fact how we just fielded strong 11 and we couldn't score.
Didn't even field any of his starting 11 from their last Europa League game today against Aston Villa.
Does that show in regards to how this manager sees the game with his team selection, and how strong it was? Does that potentially kind of influence the way, or could affect the way, you could see this match and the result in contrast to if he had done a heavily rotated team? Maybe for the players who, you say, oh, he has his reasons for starting them, getting them fit for the final, which maybe, I don't know, after like 45, 50 minutes takes them off and rests them. If he had done that, would that maybe potentially change the way that one sees this result?
Well, you never really know. Yeah, I feel like the players maybe ready for like more battle ready, let's say, because I don't know how to explain it, because like I've seen this like from other sports where you field, or you like, I don't know how to explain this in the best way possible. It makes sense in my mind, but I just can't like find the words to like explain it in a way that like it makes sense, But I guess maybe like seeing like that they may be going up against not as like big of a competition. I mean, comparing the levels of Chelsea and Tottenham this season, I don't know. Maybe it's the same level, maybe it's not. But maybe that it could maybe give him a little bit of confidence going into the final in Bilbao against Tottenham, who's equally as bad as United this season. But they just played against a team that was fighting for a Champions League spot, and that was Chelsea's best performance today, not just a 1-goal thrashing, not a 3 or 4 or 5 goal thrashing against our best team.
Fair enough. But I mean, you have been on shameless smoke on your socials about saying when we win the trophy, when we win the Europa League. Is that staying the same?
I mean, I'm never going to bet against my team, but seeing today's match, it's been a bit worrying today for me. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm never gonna bet against my team. I mean, especially when it's a big game like this.
Mhm.
But seeing today's
Shake your
match,
fingers.
playing our strongest 11, and seeing the performance is a bit worrying for me. I won't lie.
Fair enough.
But Tottenham won't have two key players who have been pivotal for their 3 wins against us this season.
And neither
So
will
I'm
we.
curious to see how Tottenham will be able to
Neither will we.
somehow
So,
find a way to beat us.
yeah, and neither will we. They don't have Madison or Kulusevski. We won't have we may not have Lenny Earl, may or may not. And I think it's unlikely because he wasn't even in the squad today. So that makes me think, that he may not be available for the final. And we won't have Xerxes and we won't have De Ligt anyways. So it's it's on both sides. But before we wrap up on your fan cam, player ratings, like I said earlier, with Ousmane's, we do our player rating 0 to 10. Can be as unfiltered as you want. Who cares? If a player really infuriated you, and you deem the player that a generational cooking, for me, from my point of view, it won't be toxic and negative or a fake fan like someone said about some certain people, if need be. But everyone has their different ways of valuing players and going about their player ratings. So without further ado, getting into the team that started today. Onana in goal. And 0 is obviously worse. 10 is obviously the best, and averages in and around 5. 6-ish is like slightly better than average, and 4 is obviously slightly below average. So we'll start with Onana in goal.
Onana didn't make any mistakes today. I mean, from the shots that were attempted, especially Cole Palmer's shot in the first half, like he saved that pretty well. I mean, it obviously was a rebound, but it was going to be offsides anyways. I'd probably just give him a 7 today. The goal wasn't his fault. I don't know if any keeper could save that header from Cucurella. So, I mean, decent performance, not anything great, just average again. So I'll give him a 7.
Okay. Into the center backs, I'll start with Lindelof on the right of that 3.
He didn't do too bad today, I won't lie, from watching both halves. But, I mean, just the marking on that goal was just absolutely poor. So I'll give him a 6.
Harry Maguire has the anchor of that 3, playing in the central center back role. What are you giving Maguire for today?
I feel like he's one of the only players that actually wants to, who's hungry for goals on the field, no matter if he's in the back or somehow gets up top in the last 5 minutes of the game. I'll give him a 7.
Okay. Luke Shaw playing on the left hand side of that 3.
I'll give him a 7.
Okay. A 7. Fair enough. He said this was in Church's performance, but I mean, hey, then again, everyone does, everyone has their rankings and individual ways of analyzing players. It's fine.
Didn't really make any mistakes, so why not go below 7? No need to roast me.
No, saying because making any mistakes, I'd be thinking you'd probably mean average, right? And I was saying like 5, 6s in and around average. That was why. That wasn't me intentionally roasting you. No, I was just saying that it was a bit interesting. I was saying in regards to just the scores and all that with the Premier League primetime player ratings scales and how it works, but it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Moving into the midfield pivot, we'll start with Casemiro.
So if we go off on PL primetime logic, I'll say a 6.
Yeah. 6 is just above average, 5 is average, 4 is slightly below average, and then 0 and 10 kind of just speak for themselves. Bruno today.
Bruno did not play like Figo today, so 5.
Into the wing backs, we'll start with Mazraoui.
Mazraoui was average, so I'll give him a 5.5.
Fair enough. Dorgu on the other side.
Dorgu did his best, but anything great, so I'll just go with a 6.
Okay. Into the front three. Ahmad on the right-hand side.
Ahmad was trying to create chances. He was trying to get a goal. Like every single time he gets the ball, I don't think I've ever really seen him really go back with the ball. He always tries to take on people when he has the chance, but for some weird reason, he was just getting locked up by Cucurella on that right today, unfortunately. Probably the most entertaining player to watch out of any United player that we watched all season. But today, I'll give him a 6. I'll give him like a 6.5.
Okay.
Or I mean, I don't know. I gave Luke Shaw a 7 for some weird reason. So I'll give.
You can change your ratings if you want. You can revise.
All right. I'll change my Luke Shaw rating to a 5.5, same as Mazraoui. But I'll give Ahmad a 7. He was the most productive player on the field.
Okay. On the left-hand side, your guy, the boy who had a dream, played for Chelsea. Your guy Mason Mount. Scores and ratings for him.
Listen, I love my boy Mason, but he just did not show up today.
Number 7, 250 grand a week and 60 million pounds with the year left on his deal.
With the rating, Mason Money Mount. He had the chances. Unfortunately, did not put them away like he did against Bilbao. So I'll give him a 5.
And up front, Rasmus Højlund.
0. Absolutely atrocious performance from him today. That's where my word atrocious stems from. The one, the only, the Danish 72 million striker. 72 million. 0.
My air quotes.
Absolutely. Anything from Rasmus at this point is just, you can't expect anything from him. You cannot expect anything from this guy, bro. It's the same thing over and over again, bro.
What was it for 72 million with the air quotes, though? I'm a bit confused.
Because that price tag, when you see a price tag with any club
buying, okay, yeah, like he's worth it. Okay, all right.
He was worth a long-term investment. Some people dubbing him as, he's the next Harry Kane of the Premier League.
Some of these people saying that now. I will say some of these people saying now, even just like maybe like 2-3 months ago, were not saying that. They were not saying that for many. I'm not saying individual names. They know who they are. And, if they want to say they never did and they're always on the other side, then they're lying to themselves. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Glad everybody's eventually, or the vast majority have been caught up. Moving to the substitutions, who first came off the bench? Ugarte, Garnacho both came off the bench at the same time. They had around 35, 40 minutes.
Like 20-ish minutes.
I think that's enough.
They came on the 70th, 71st minute.
I thought they came around like 60. I could be wrong, but I feel like they came on with still around to go. Just to make sure. Oh wait, no, you're right. No, they came on at 70th minute. No, you're spot on. And 71st minute, we conceded that goal.
Yep.
So starting with Garnacho, starting with Ugarte, ratings for them, or do you think not enough time?
Garnacho got turned. He got turned by Reece James, bro. He can't. He clearly cannot defend. He clearly cannot defend, bro. And if you cannot defend as a winger,
well, he's playing in the number 10s. In the number 10, as the two number 10s, the wing backs would be
the left inverted 10.
Yeah, they're not.
But still, in the system, wingers either play
Mm.
as either wing backs or inverted mids.
Well, how the system is supposed to be deployed and to be executed, it's the two wide number 10s, two to very technically sound number 10s or wide players, and then you have your two wing backs. Not with wingers, but he was playing the wide 10 role again. Score for Garnacho and Ugarte today.
I mean, none of them impacted the game, so just below average for them. So I'll just give 4s to both of them.
Okay. The other substitutions for Man United off the bench, Kobe Mainu off the bench. Went on for Bruno. Aiden Heaven went on also at the same time for Luke Shaw. Only 9 minutes. We'll just go standard 5s. Didn't really have enough time.
Standard 5s to both of them. I mean, especially Aiden Heaven's challenge. Like, if VAR reviewed that's a red card. It was just stupid. Yeah. Like, he looked pretty shaky in the back today. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I love Aiden Heaven, but today it was just not his day today. Yeah,
but I mean, look, most people playing in that team structurally isn't looking good. And last but not least, the manager today. What are you giving Amarin for today?
I don't want to be too harsh, but I'll give Amarin a 3, just because I feel like there were people that he didn't necessarily need to play today, and this was the perfect day to maybe give some academy kids some experience. Like, why can you bring on the likes of Amas? Why can you bring on the likes of Fredrickson maybe in the back, and maybe have 1 or 2 senior players on the field today? It's I don't get his management sometimes, especially when we have a big European Cup final on Wednesday. I've
recently been starting to call it Judgment Day. I hasn't been calling it lately Judgment Day because that's what it is. It is Judgment. And lastly, before I do my my own individual match reaction and fan cam, and everyone goes backstage. The Europa League final. Yes, you've seen it on other podcasts, you've seen it on socials, but you're on Premier League prime time. Will Manchester United win this Europa League? Will we be lifting that trophy come Wednesday?
Listen.
Yes or no?
United has been Jekyll and Hyde this season, bro. Jekyll in the Europa League, but Hyde in the Premier League.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Your most unfiltered thoughts, and I want your most unfiltered thoughts and opinions.
Somehow the worst ever United team in Premier League season, in the Premier League, in our Premier League history, bro. Somehow, we're undefeated in the Europa League, bro. No losses, just wins and draws. And somehow we made it all the way to the final. And so did Tottenham. And both of our arguably worst ever seasons of all time in the club's history.
So, who will come away with something to salvage on Wednesday? Who will be the one to lift that trophy in Bilbao on Wednesday? Are you confident? Are you just as confident and just as shameless as you've been all season that we're still going to be able to do it? Do you still have that same level of confidence, or has it been shaken?
Listen,
not all the way, but partially.
Amad Diallo has not had 90 minutes against Spurs for this whole entire season.
Okay.
He will be our key player if we can somehow win this European final. But
and that's the question.
But as a fan of this club, I think Manchester United. I think Manchester United are going to pull the most Manchester United thing ever, bro. Just like we did last season against Manchester City in the FA Cup final. We're going to win it.
Okay.
We are going to win the Europa League final.
Okay.
Because we're Manchester United Football Club. And that's somehow what we do.
Well, there you have it. There you have your individual encounter you. And before we end the live stream, I will go ahead and we'll do my individual. We'll do my individual breakdown. Just temporarily. Hello and welcome to Premier League Primetime. Chelsea won, Manchester United 0. Once again, just it's another loss. At least there's only one more Premier League game this season. Whoops. One thing I will say, as a shining positive with Premier League Primetime, I do apologize for having gone so long. There have been a lot of personal things going on, a lot of personal difficulties going on in these last few months since the posting of our last podcast episode. I think that was our last upload, isn't it? And it's been difficult, to be honest. It's not been easy. I mean, this whole school year in general, a multitude of different reasons and angles. I'll be honest and honest. It's the very worst that I've ever had or ever been put through. And you could say that, this school year, this year in general. Yeah, I'll say school year in general. Yeah, everything leading into it. Literally, yeah, it's identical to Man United season this year. So it's not been great. And I've needed to step back for a brief moment and period in time, just to have a break, and also a break, yeah. But with all the classes being as work intensive as they are, and academically rigorous and demanding, it's negatively affected the amount of time that I would have liked to have. So I apologize for that. But content will be returning from here on out, slowly but surely. I recently lost some family as well. And yeah, I'll say it, I lost my mother. It's been a very emotional time, very emotion-moving time. In the nicest way possible. To say before my graduation, at this university has been for me, even all year, but especially since passing my mom's been, I guess I could say, it's not what I would have hoped or thought, a surprising portion of those here would have helped, and I thought would have helped me out. So it's not been great. But one thing I will say before I end this brief segment, this personal note, to every single member of this absolutely amazing community who does this, there would be no PLBT, or as good of a PLBT. Jose, Sears, and Andre, to all three of you, big up yourselves. All you have been with me for the longest time, especially through this period. Supporting the world, not only just you, but those at university that have done so, and wherever you're across the world, for all the backing and the love and support. I really appreciate it, and it's definitely been needed. It's been something that really needed. Unfortunately, Man United has not been the complete opposite, but I just wanted to say and address all that. I did it earlier in the stream. I decided to do it again now. So, yeah. This match, what can I say? Just another typical Man United performance, as we've seen this season from these players. This manager as well, with more and more red flags. I said at the time when we sacked Ten Hag, there's no way we could do worse. And Jose did say, but there will not be improvement, which he was absolutely spot on. However, one thing that I never saw coming was that he would shatter the records, and he would, somehow be even worse than Ten Hag was this season. And I thought that was unthinkable in regards to things in their control. And he's somehow doing it. At best, we'll probably finish this season if we somehow get a win against Aston Villa, which will never happen. Which I can say right here now, we will not win against Aston Villa. I'll say that with chest. Best view can probably finish maybe 14th. Maybe 14th. 14th in the table, I think. Assuming West Ham lose and Wolves lose, a good majority of the teams ahead of us lose, yeah. Highest we can get is 13th. Highest we can get is 13th, and that is lower in the table than that Chelsea team was. So, yeah. But anyways, sticking to the game, but with the Premier League, pause the point ranting. It's just depressing. It's just degrading to watch this. That would actually be very different in regards to energy levels if we lose that Europa League final, especially in Tottenham. But it's just another awful performance on the pitch from the players, management from the in-game management from the manager. Just same as always. If I'm looking at this game in particular, everyone knows what I think of Madueke. I don't think I don't really rate him all that highly. But again, like I've said all season and even all last season, we constantly make players who are bang average or poor look world class. And what did I say about Madueke today? I don't like Madueke, bro. Was moving like Sadio Mane without the finishing. He was looking like prime Sadio Mane at Liverpool, bro. That's what he was looking like today. That's exactly what he was looking like today. Bro, it was crazy. We had Pedro Neto, yeah, in certain phases and moments during the game, moving like Mahrez was crazy. For me, I was stunned by how not really stunned, but so always stunned by how many, of the players that you say, they're first on the team sheet for what we've got for the final. How many of them started today? We started, our technical, the vast majority of our technically best footballers today, who are like the players that we should be playing in the Europa League. But nope, we didn't do that. For me, the wing backs, Dorgu and Mazraoui today. In particular, Mazraoui, but I feel sorry for him because, options really. Either you play him wing back, Ahmad in the 10, or you play him at centre back, and you play Ahmad at wing back, and you play someone else up front, which would probably be Garnacho or Mount, because this manager clearly doesn't, rate Kobe Manu enough to be playing him in the 10 consistently, week in and week out. Dorgu today was just something else, man. Lindelof, just again, I've said it enough times. Lindelof was typical Lindelof today. But, I mean, can't blame Onana today. Didn't have too much. Didn't really have too much to do. Header from Cucurella, he had no chance. No chance in hell in saving. But no chance in hell in saving that header from Cucurella, man, from point blank range. But unfortunately, yeah, I mean, Chelsea weren't great at all. Chelsea were not great at all. They didn't have to be, I don't even know, playing at like a level or grade of like a C plus. Chelsea were at like a C minus, C level, right? And broke. People, ladies and gentlemen, they still looked, vast majority of the time, yeah, head and shoulders above us. And I don't want to hear the excuses for the manager, though. People who say, because I call out the many red flags this manager has raised so far. Many of the, seeing what the manager says, how he speaks, how he plays, the patterns, and his team selection, the kinds of players that he's been choosing, it's many parallels to Ten Hag. Many parallels. But just because I call it out for what it is, and I don't blindly back or believe in anything without being given anything to warrant it. I'm toxic and negative. I need to be positive. All of that, all the abuse. It's just cool. It's whatever. It's not going to change how I see football, unfortunately, because something isn't good enough. I don't care, whether the name of that person or their background or the name of that person or not. On TikTok and social media, it's trendy to hype up and to overhype and to more or less glaze, you could say. Or the popular trendy thing, is to scapegoat and to hate on them, whatever reason it is, when they don't deserve it. So, I mean, I'll almost never do that. So, you can count me out of that. But I don't know how I didn't fall asleep watching that, because that was a horrible game of football to watch. Absolutely horrible to watch. That game wanted to be, for me, the most exciting parts are actually, again, could never be us in our attack apart from Ahmad. Was Chelsea really? Was really it was really just Chelsea, but anyways, just worry about the stream. 2 player ratings. Starting off in goal, Andre Onana didn't really have anything to do. Made a couple good saves. The Cole Palmer one was a good save. Somebody could. You can't blame him for the goal, really. Again, this takes way too long, man. And even then, just some that were shots that were put on to save. Still, he still looks very uncomfortable and very unconvincing. Not instilling with a lot of confidence, but for the performance today, were the saves that difficult to make? I don't know. I'm not a goalkeeper, so I can't really, say too much. But just from what my own eyes were seeing and what my brain was interpreting, wasn't the most outrageous saves he was making. But look, I'll give him a 6. him a sixer today because I mean some of the the chances that Chelsea had, if he doesn't save those, scoreline could be 3-4 now. Anyways, getting into the center backs, Victor Lindelof. I wouldn't say he wasn't the worst, but I mean him and Mazraoui, dumb and dumber for the goal, and so many times was getting roasted by Madueke as well. So I mean, again, just even though for me it wasn't the worst on the pitch, still absolutely awful, man. This guy is, how many of us say he's not good enough? He's never been good enough. Just please, he's going to leave in the summer on a free. Get rid of him. Cut ties in the summer. Be done. Gone. Done. Finish. Yeah. And if Lenny Yoro isn't fit for that final, I know, he's going to play. I know that Lindelof is going to play. I remember the last time that this guy played in a Europa League final. Why Villarreal scored the goal that they did. Yeah, because of him. And I don't trust this guy. I never have. And for the remaining result at Man United, I will not either. So I really hope Lenny Yoro is back. I really, really, really hope Lenny Yoro is fit and available. Because I don't want to see Lindelof not play. Because I know In Heaven won't play. I don't know what he's done post the injury to old son just to not be playing. I don't know. But it's crazy. It's actually crazy. But Lindelof gets a 2. Harry Maguire was one of the few that looked half competent. But then again, like we've seen, Maguire was also starting to turn into the Maguire of old. Back in the Maguire banter era. Taking too long on the ball, sometimes making stupid challenges. But I mean, then again, kind of the best of a bad bunch, really. Give him I'll give him a 5 for now. Luke Shaw, how he's actually fit, I don't know, but was getting ripped by Neto. But apart from that, didn't have too much to do. But was better than Lindelof, but that's not difficult, is it? I'll give him a 3 or 4. 4. I'll give him a 4 for now. Into the midfield pivot, Casemiro. Nothing amazing, really. I've done the best that he could, but again, as much as I love Casemiro, just athleticism, and the high intensity of Cole Palmer and Enzo and that Caicedo midfield. You can definitely tell, it was, it was starting to hurt. It was starting to affect him. And you could see he was more rushing, more uncomfortable. So he didn't have his best day. But Casemiro can get a pass. Not great by his standards. Actually, Andre Onana gets a 5. And Casemiro, I'll give Cas a 6. Bruno, what I've always said about Bruno, guys, but remember, what are the things I've been told about Bruno? I've been told he's the best signing since Eric Cantona. He's done more for the club and is more of a legend than David Beckham because of his GNA. Where would we be without Bruno? Maybe better finishes in the Premier League in regards to our placement and points tally and goal difference, and our 3 worst ever finishes, which he's been either the captain or the vice captain or centerpiece of all 3 of those sides. Like I've always said, Bruno has his pauses and benefits, and he has been our player of the season. And I won't and I will absolutely not disagree with that. If this even means anything to be Man United player of the season. But I mean, he's deserving of it. Not one of our better players this season, you could say. I mean, for me, I've seen just an overall increase in just quality all around performance. So really, what do we say? Really, same old, yeah. Definitely, good many times, top of the box, over the bar. That guy couldn't shoot to save his life today. Bruno. And you're the captain. People want to give Bruno all the praise in the world, but then when he has poor performances, everyone just wants to vanish and pretend like it just didn't happen. Can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways. And then I'll see players, especially in the beginning of the season, like Xerxes, even the times he was getting GNA, or for the many times he wasn't, even though he was positively impacting games, good all-round performances, he was doing so many good things. Guess what? Because it was trendy to not like Xerxes, guess what? It's just giving abuse and people saying, oh, that XYZ, Xerxes, man, Xerxes, this, XYZ, and all that, the other. And I said, how could you possibly really judge him? When the man's not even been given a run of Premier League games. Give him a run of Premier League games. I've said that since the beginning. When he was given a run of Premier League games to play, guess what? He was arguably, you could make a very good case that he was our best player for like a good month and a half, month or two. In those, in that run of 10 games that we had, he was our best player in our attack and making anything happen. And then, it was only around then, man started, I love Xerxes' attitude. You weren't saying that before. You were slandering him and putting out those kinds of narratives, making him out to being like some scrub. Honestly, some of the tune and energy levels that certain players get, but then other players don't, because of favoritism or whatever your motives are. It's fucking disgusting. It's genuinely disgusting. Why I say all the time, keep the same energy with certain players. Obviously, yes, context of whatever situation is important and it needs to be applied. But keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. Like I just said there, Xerxes treatment versus the Højlund treatment and Garnacho treatment. It's fucking atrocious, man. But anyways, Bruno. Also remember that Bruno is a better footballer and is better than Pogba. I remember that one too. Yeah. Yeah, and did try to tell you a lot. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I mean, look, when Bruno plays well, I'm the first one to say brilliant performance from Bruno. Brilliant, very good performance. But when the performance is awful, and it is poor, I'm gonna say how it is. Captain's armband, guess what? I've always said it. I judge you differently. 350 grand a week. At 300 grand a week, 350 grand a week contract that you signed, that Ashraf and Ten Hag gave to you. 300 grand a week. Yeah. That didn't look like 300 grand a week to me. Not consistent enough as well. I mean, he's been more consistent now this season, but not good enough. Not good enough. Absolutely awful today. What did he do? He did the square root of fuck all. Nothing. Guys supposed to be, this number 10, the creative spark. But then when people, make the excuse, oh, Bruno's no help around him. He had this player and that player and all that, blah, 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 blah. Sure, you can say that to a certain point of view. But for the way in how much you laud this player to be, calling him things like legends, world class, best selling since our Cantona, rating him higher and calling him more of a legend and a better overall footballer than David Beckham was for us. Saying things like that. It's like all that is just forgotten. And it never happened. Every time I revert back to it, it's again just another deflection, which is bullshit. Bruno did absolutely nothing today. He was absolutely awful on. Looked like the Bruno of old. Not the one that was carrying us. In that initially like season and a half, innit? But Bruno of old, meaning like the Bruno of the vast majority of last season. Really. Honestly, just with Bruno, it's Jekyll and Hyde. You either get top Bruno or you get Bruno that does nothing. And this is Bruno who did subtle. And for your expectations and for your wages and the standards, and the captain Man United Football Club, I've said it a million times, I judge them differently. And what did you do today? Fuck all. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Did you? And so on, yeah. If this performance ends up being, emulated, replicated in the final, yeah, the cross will be generational. But Bruno awful today. 3. Into the wing, that's Mazraoui today. Bro, Madueke absolutely tore this guy to pieces. But again, like I said, I feel sorry for him because his best positions, center back in the 3 or the full back in the 4. He's having to play at wing back because there's no other options and there's no other choices, even though the correct application Amorim's system would actually be playing Garnacho at wing back because he plays attackers at wing backs. That's the Giovanni Quenda thing. But yeah, no, he's playing defenders at wing back. He's essentially playing 5 defenders and 2 holding midfielders in the Europa League. So I mean, on the ball, he was nah. That was it. I'll give him a 1 because he put his kill in the right way. Dorgu, the same. He gets a 1. He was awful. Which makes you think, why couldn't Amos played this game? Why couldn't Toby Collier maybe could have played this game? Why not them? Why not Ericsson instead of Ahmad? Why? Again, because the manager said, they're going to rotate, play some of the kids, play a lot of the kids now in the Premier League. We have a big final in 5 days, which is Judgment Day. And he's playing more of our best players, which tells me that he thought about this game much differently than I had expected, which means he was trying to win this game. He was trying to win this game with the team that he played, because that's what that showed me today. Because with the players, in that matchday squad, you can make a very good argument, that's probably the best team we can field. Bar, maybe the guy up front, but into the attacking shooter, Ahmad Diallo tried what he could, but everybody knows that's our only bright spark. And every time Ahmad got the ball, he was cooking Cucurella early, and in that second half, onto that half, almost every single time, he got doubled. All the time. 2 defenders on him. And he's, a lot less effective in the second half. Even though he was still getting shots, I was still trying to create things. He was the one creating the opportunities, the best of our opportunities today. And the Brunos and the other people who finish it. The left-hand side, Mason Mount, the boy who had a dream, as the Chelsea fans used to call him. Let's play for Chelsea. The guy we spent £60 million to sign, and gave the number 7 shirt. Set 60 mil when he had a Europe on his deal, 250 grand a week for this guy. Some people define that signing. I personally don't agree, but this signing is just. I despise what that signing stands for. Not only just how it's turned out, and the logistics and the financials involved in it, and not so and not so for how it's turned out, but for me, it's also what it symbolizes. That signing symbolizes. And for me, that's top 2, arguably top 3 worst signings in Man United history for me. Post Ferguson, 100%. The opportunity he had to finish, that chance he had, scuffed it, hit it wide. What was I hearing for so much the manager saying how much he loves Mason Mount after the Bilbao game, which I gave him his kudos, I gave him his flowers. I said, all right, fair play. You and Ahmed Shinsigimani came off the bench for the last half an hour. Fair play, well done to you. And then another goal against Everton and all that. And all of a sudden, man's getting sent DMs and messages and all the comments saying, hold that with Mason Mount. How wrong you were. 60 million bargain. I'm seeing, the Mason Mount, and all the Mason Mount pumps again, with that song Bad Boy as well, seeing the Mason Mount Bad Boy compilations again, and it's just, is this where we are? Really? Just on top of everything else, which would take me a million years to list that I could, but I'm genuinely tired. On top of the school year and everything that's going on, with me mentally, and I'm outside of school and outside of POT. It's honestly been so detrimental to me, and you go and then football, where you'd think, the one place where maybe I could have skimming it, but it's just not in it. I don't even care. I don't even care. Mason Mount gets a 1. He gets a 1 because he wasn't the worst player. Rasmus Højlund. I haven't said it once, I haven't said it a million times, I'll say it again. For how long I've had to not only have, but also put up and fight for my life, because it was an unpopular thing at the time, to say Xerxes was better than Højlund. And all this, revisionism now, the sudden shameless, flip-flopping revisionism I'm seeing. For me, again, it's so disgusting to see. And this is nothing you can't change your opinion. You can change your opinion. There's no problem with that. People do that in life. However, there's a certain way to do it. A certain way to go about doing it. If you do so, holding your hands up and saying, hey, look, I was so shamelessly on this side. And now I could see how wrong I was. And I was so stupid to have thought all that I had for all this time. And I'm sorry. I can't defend it. Hold my hands up. Joshua Xerxes, apologies are owed, X, Y, Z, and I will do so now, blah, blah, blah. Cool, no problem. But it's just like, to all those who thought Xerxes was going to flop, by the same people who were literally slandering this guy. Didn't give him, even though, 23 years old, brought to the club, for all the, Højlund doesn't get service, Højlund doesn't get this, Højlund doesn't get that. Oh, he's the caption king. He's a caption king. I love Rasmus and all that. Is he hilarious on with his Instagram captions? Is he fine with all that and his banter? Yeah, he is. I'll admit it. Yeah, it is pretty funny. But bro, this guy got no self-awareness, bro. None. No self-awareness. A big problem in just modern day society in life and especially with these modern day footballers and managers too. No sense of self-awareness, big lack of it. Such a big lack of it. And this guy's mentality is absolutely pissed. Nowhere near the levels of Man United, bro. Nowhere near. He's playing, yeah, because we, especially in Europa, because there is no other registered striker that we have available. Because Xerxes out. So we only have this guy. So yeah. And even then you could argue and say a Bruno false nine could even be more effective or more helpful or bring more to the team, or a Mason Mount false nine. Honestly. And the fact I've had to have this long, or to have these stupid debates last this long, I hold a season, and I gave him time his first season, But yeah, and Iran, and after that Crystal Palace game, I said, nah, I'm sorry, I gave you your time. The moment Xerxes arrived, around the same age, a year older, never given the time, never given the patience, got jeered off, booed off by his own fans, Also being made out as a scapegoat when he was taken off against Newcastle, when really you could have taken off anyone. Anyone. But you decided to play this guy in the left hand against, who was it? Against a physical Newcastle team, a physical and elite athletic Newcastle team. That were literally, giving him the nightmares of his life. But he was taken off after the manager put him in that position. But no, manager doesn't get criticized. No criticism. Everything he does is right. Can't blame him for anything. Why can't they both be called? And Rasmus Højlund is another one. He's chosen to play Rasmus Højlund instead of Xerxes for for how long he's been here. He's been here long enough. He arrived here in the same season, or around the same time as Conte Sal, when he went to AC Milan. And both have failed. But Conte Sal, much less in regards to points tally, in regards to league finishes. And don't even try and say, it's Serie A, better or worse Premier League. I'm not trying to hear that. That's AC Milan, right? Their supporters and their ultras hold that club to that standard. Same with Real Madrid, right? And they've chosen it. They've chosen, this manager's chosen to play this guy. He's chosen to. He's had long enough. Constant made stupid decisions. Guess what? He's getting sacked at the end of the season. It's being worded as mutual agreement. He's just going to depart or leave. No, he's getting sacked. He's getting sacked because he's failed. Yeah. And this manager, not a single amount of criticism. It's like not a single amount of criticism or a single point of criticism is allowed to be, handed its way. Nothing. Just putting a blindfold on. We can't see anything. Man can't see in it. Even Stevie fucking Wonder can see some of the red flags he's given. And he has us in 16th in the Premier League. That alone is a sackable offense. Having us in 16th in May. Not even at 40 points. It's disgraceful, man. And if the rumors are true and Ineos end up sacking him, it's justified. It's absolutely justified. Because these players are better than 16th. Not even Ten Hag would have us in 16th. Would have been possible? Yeah, definitely. You would have been better off just rude interim vibes, all that. And look, I was excited for Amorim. When people were asking me about Amorim, I'd say, yeah, I'm all for Amorim. Yeah, I want him at the club. Was he my first choice? No. But yeah, I was definitely hearing it. But I didn't think he would be this. I did not think he was going to be this. And the continuation of Højlund as the first choice striker, guess what? Is one of many red flags. So if he gets sacked, he's no complaints. But for me, I want all these players gone, because regardless if it's this manager or a new one, I do not want this selection of players to be given to that new manager for them to think, oh, I could revive Lindelof, or hey, I could maybe revive Luke Shaw, I could maybe revive Marcus Rashford or Anthony, whoever it is. No. New selection of players, regardless if it's this manager or if it's a new one. But yeah, anyways, Rasmus Højlund, again, 0. I'm sick and tired of it. Sick and tired of seeing this guy up front. Next season, yeah, and I know we probably will get one. But this football club, yeah, better sign a striker first and foremost. And if Xerxes is going to be a 10, you better have another player. Whether it's letting Cheeto into the first team or all that, or Xerxes is going to be your 9. Go get another inverted 10, and get rid of Rasmus Højlund. Because he is a detriment. 72 million we spent on this player. 72 million pounds we spent on this player. And Harry Kane was out there. But no, that manager, who did that manager want? What did that manager want? No, he wanted Rasmus Højlund. They share the same agent, both SCG agency, him and Ten Hag. Yeah. Didn't even want to make an offer for Harry Kane. But no, was so incredibly keen on Rasmus Højlund. Mind-boggling. Absolutely flipping mind-boggling, that is. Which, seriously, man, seriously, just I'm just genuinely so tired of it. Genuinely so tired of it. Yeah, Rasmus Højlund gets a 0. And after the season, this guy needs to be top of that transfers. 72 million, and how do people defend back it? Oh, he's young. Or, he doesn't get service, which is the biggest load of bollocks, yeah, because there are plenty of strikers out there, yeah. But even without service, yeah, and in worse sides, have proven to be at least either far more effective, or far better footballers, or both. Liam Delap is the reason why Ipswich, yeah, or even in a shout, or so, in the fight to stay above relegation, or as long as they were. Him. I think he scored what? I think he scored almost 15 Premier League goals. Liam Delap. A kid, yeah, who's only, consistent first team football, yeah, was in the Championship. Bench player for Man City. His first test a consistent Premier League football for Ipswich, yeah, Ipswich. And this guy, yeah, was the sole reason why they're in the fight to stay, above relegation for as long as they were. He carried them with his goals for as long as he could. And people say, oh, we're talking Ipswich. He still got relegated, didn't he? Stop being shameless, man. Also look at the all-round player. From those who, the flipping G&A stats merchants, the XG merchants, the goals that he got in the league, and his assist tally, yeah, there's that for you. And you look at his footballing attributes. He's an elite athlete. Physically strong. Is decent in the air. Yes, yeah, it can improve. But yeah, decent in the air. He can hold the ball up. He's technically very sound as well. He's very good link-up. Very underrated, by the way. And he is ruthless in front of goal. Very ruthless in front of goal. If we're rolling up right now, that would be 6 signing for 13 million, and people are complaining about 30 mil. And still, yeah, there's some people, yeah, trying to justify or deflect, yeah, that we spent 72 million pounds for Rasmus Højlund, bro. There's no defending it. Oh, but he's a good guy. He's a good personality. Yeah, you don't pay 72 million pounds for that. Go fucking pay a comedian or something if you want someone for good laughs or all that. Go do that. Go, I don't know, bring a motivational speaker or something. I don't know, don't pay 72 million pounds for this guy. And then do you know what happens? When they offer nothing and they have nothing to give except running around, guess what the base argument is? They work hard and they run around a lot. Cool. Even though working hard is what anybody would expect from anybody, in any job, whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's working at a fast food restaurant, or whether you're a professional footballer, regardless of what it is. You're expected to work hard and to give nothing short of 110%. That's what you're expected. That's what you're expected, even in school. Yeah. Whether you're in high school or your uni, whatnot, primary school, flipping secondary school, whatever it is, yeah. You're expected by your professors or teachers and all that to give nothing but your very best, to work to work at your very hardest. That's expected. So why are we giving big props for that? That should be like standard baseline. Come on, like, what are we doing here? Anyways, Rasmus Højlund in 0. Moving into the substitutions. Funny how we took off Casemiro, yeah, and Mason Mount, even though Mason Mount did score of fuck all anyways, we took off them two, and we bring on, Ugarte Gallagher on, who, gets a nosebleed, when he has to pass the ball, for more than 5 yards, and that's progressive and going forward. And Garnacho, Alejandro Garnacho, he's no different from Højlund. Only difference is he costs us 500 grand from Atletico Madrid, and we can at least make a huge profit. Huge profit, yeah. Because he's at a younger age, so a lot of people, a lot of clubs that may take a chance on him and all that, but really it's the name Alejandro Garnacho. It's the name, it's the brand, and all that. So not because of his footballing abilities. And how the Garnacho and Sancho thing actually was a debate is fucking hilarious to me. Fucking hilarious. Just because one of them just run around like a fucking headless chicken. Cool. Great. What happened to Garnacho today? Maybe he was preparing, I don't know, for, his, what will be, his 90 plus minute long duel in the Europa League final with flipping Destiny Udogie, where he's going to spend most of it, in his back pocket, or on fucking Destiny Udogie's leash and become Destiny's child again. Bullshit. He was absolutely awful again. Reece James didn't even have to push him. Not even. Lightly literally, made the slightest contact, and this guy goes over. Honestly, Anthony is I've said it all the time. Anthony's a way better footballer and offers more than would have him every single day of the week ahead of Garnacho. It's better than everything. Everything. He's stronger, he's more technically sound, he's better shooting, better passing, better everything. Honestly. Him and Rasmus Højlund, those two. Remember when those two, in that picture of Kobe, everyone saying, oh, the new band, the new generation, Man United's future. This is the centerpiece or the core of our future. Those two or three in attack. Yeah, those two. Garnacho and Højlund. Future. Yeah, the future's bleak if it's those two, isn't it? Oh, but I don't even care if they didn't have enough time. Garnacho gets a 0 anyways. Because every time I got the ball, he lost it. Ugarte, Chelsea looked more dominant in the midfield after he came on. So him and Bruno don't work as a midfield pivot. There's no ball retention. There's no control. There's no technical ability there. So in the sense that they can retain the ball and are good in possession. So Ugarte, but again, he wasn't off long enough. We're giving him a 3. Aiden having Kobe Manu wasn't on long enough. I am concerned about Kobe. That this manager doesn't really rate him all that highly. Or doesn't know what to do with him because he plays him in the double, played it for ages. Then finally put him in the 10 once, saw how good he was. Then came out in the press conference after that one Europa League game and said, oh, Kobe's been struggling defensively and all that. And I thought, perhaps trying him in the 10 could give him more freedom. Saw how good he was. Next game against Everton, guess what he does? He plays Kobe up front, out of false 9. And Ten Hag playing Mazraoui in the 10, I was losing my mind. But when I was losing my mind when he played Kobe in a false night, I got a ton of backlash saying, "Oh, you can't say that about Amram and all that." And then that year, yes, he's had a few cameos in at the number 10 position, but guess what? Also really at that number 9 role, yeah. All of the starts and all of his cameos off the bench have just been right back in that fucking double pivot again. Mostly partnered with fucking Ugarte, which that doesn't help him. That makes the things even worse. Didn't have enough time. Didn't look that great. Heaven should have been sent off for that challenge, by the way. As highly as I rate him. But yeah, the two of them, standard 5s. The manager. Looking at the team that he played, I was thinking to myself, okay, cool. He's telling with that team, he's telling me, or from what I interpret, he's telling me that this game should matter. This game should matter, even though we have a final on 5 days. This game is important. We need to win this game by the team that he played. Even though definitely said several times in press conferences that we're going to have to take risks in the Premier League, we're going to have to rotate, we're going to have to play much more of the youngsters and the kids in the academy, and because Europa Leagues are our main priority, we need to, save our big and most important players for them. And he's contradicted himself. That's why Joshua Zirkzee is out. That's why De Ligt is out. Both those players are out because he decided to play them, even though their two are, better and I'd say best players in each of our departments. Zirkzee in attack and De Ligt in defense. De Ligt was injured for a month, brought him back, played him out for the rest of the season. Played Zirkzee in that Newcastle game, which we were going to get smoked anyways and didn't need to play him. Played him anyways. Guess what? Got injured. So yeah, it's just contradictions don't make sense. But for the match today, didn't look for the squad that is here. Not much you could really do with it, but you could definitely rotate a more rotated team than that. You can play fucking Toby Collier, maybe, I don't know, instead of one of Bruno or Cass. Instead of Ahmad, you really didn't need to play, even though it's one of our better players today. I said earlier, I don't want Ahmad playing the rest of the season, unless it's Europa League, which is why he worked so hard to get back here, not to playing these meaningless Premier League games. For Europa. Or at the very most, he should have been, I don't even know that. Give him maybe half an hour, maybe first 45, and then he's off. Why couldn't Harry Amats play today? Why not Fredrickson? Lindelof is leaving. There's no point. He's not a part of the future. You may as well play Fredrickson, give him a test, see how he does. There's no harm in playing him. If he's worse, cool. But it confuses me, man. It really, really does. And for the team that he put out, and for what that told me, and the performance that I got and received, and his game management, how he made the wrong changes, it was 0-0, and he puts on Ugarte and Garnacho. When I'd assume, we'd probably want a goal. Yeah, and look, I understand taking Castle when he's in for Europa, but the fuck's Mason Mount done? He's done fuck all anyways. He's not played. He's barely played. So it's kind of like, cool, whatever, for me, I mean, signing's rubbish and he's been rubbish. But, guess what? At this point, no one cares. No one really, really cares. And I'd assume, you probably need a goal. Just, I can't be honest, man. Amram gets a 2 for that because that was diabolical, man. Diabolical. Attackers supposed to be wingbacks plays. The vast majority of his time, you have something like 5 defenders, 2 holding midfielders, and a goalkeeper. Effectively 7 at the back. So, and it's boring, it's defensive, it's pragmatic, it's negative. But we're not good at football. we're not good at football. So, that's all we can do. Park the bus in front of our goal. So bored of it, man. So bored of it. Only 5 days to that final. For me, that will definitely impact the way I look at the season, at least just at the end of it. Whether, it's been absolutely awful, but at least something to salvage and be at UCL football, and I could be shameless for a day or two, could celebrate it for a day or two, or losing it, catastrophic consequences and catastrophic and generational cookings coming my way. But yeah, it's a 2. But anyways, there you go. I'm exhausted. This has been Daveye. And Chelsea won. Manchester United, no. The stream is now officially ending the stream because I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Can't say no more than that. Then we better win this damn Europa League. We better win it. I know, but before the outro, I will say this weekend Europa League preview. Jose will be back. Andre will be back. And Europa League Watchalong, post-match reactions, all of that, X, Y, Z, and the other. And we will have season finales, keep flowing this out. Yeah, we will have those. But, But as always, spend Daveye. I don't know.